Why, hello there, stream. Why, hello there, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to set things up here. So I'm trying something. Okay, we're trying something today. This is brand new, front lines. Uh, only the newest things happening here. So welcome everybody. Let's see. I got chat over here. Let me pull that. Actually, I don't think I need that. Hello there. Welcome. Perfect. All right, I think we are good. So today I wanted to try something new. I wanted to try to record while I'm streaming so that we can do stream segment or do like video segments on stream. And then I can just edit those real quick and get them up on the channel. That way people who don't watch the streams can still get like the best parts of it, brought to them on a regular basis. I feel like it'll be better for the content overall. Like, I am pretty excited about it. Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm still getting everything pulled up here. Perfect. Okay, yeah, I got everything pulled up. Yep. Yep. Thanks to everyone who followed me on Twitch. We have Twitch and YouTube now, so if you want to watch me on Twitch, it is literally just Leah Passanetti. My name, Leah Passanetti, on Twitch. I will share it in the restream chat here. And then also let me go ahead and grab my link tree, which I actually have not put my Twitch in my link tree yet. I keep forgetting to do that, but I will do that. I promise you. All right, so we got Twitch got put in there and the link tree is put in there. So let me say hello to everybody. We have Hunter, hello. Queen Fox, hello. The real King Pooh. I actually feel like that's Freddy. I feel like Freddy is the real King Pooh. He is the Pooh. He is the great mighty Pooh, and he's gonna take a poo on you. Servalos, hello. Amber, hello. Crazy Wolf, hello. Control Alt Democracy, hello. You synced both the streams. That's funny. Were you able to fix monetization? No, actually, and that's something that I'm a little confused about, if I'm being honest with you. You pinned the link tree. Thank you. Boofed, hello. Vem, hello. So yeah, so I was able to fix a couple things. So here's the good news. Let's start with the good news. I am recording right now, and my computer is not crashing. It's not falling apart. It's not crumbling to pieces, and that's amazing. That's amazing. So like, we are in a good spot as far as streaming and recording is going. So I'm actually really excited about that. That makes, like, I think I mentioned this before in the last stream or the stream before that or whatever, but I want to make video content while streaming because I feel like it's just gonna be good content. Like, my video content's pretty good, but it's nice to have chat interaction. It's nice for it to feel more like an organic conversation and less like me recording a video. I just think it's gonna be great for the content. So I am recording right now, which means that I don't have to like download the stream after the fact, which takes hours and hours and hours. It's a very slow process. Like, I will have the stream recording as soon as I'm done streaming, and then I can just edit. Like, I honestly, what I'll probably do is mark out timestamps and then just boom, 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 and cut everything, and it'll be easy peasy lemon squeezy. It might actually be easier for me to do some more complicated edits because I'm considering doing something. So this is actually something I wanted to talk about with chat, okay? Here is the thing with the stuff. I normally do recut on my videos, so you probably noticed the difference between streaming and videos for me. When I do a video, there's no dead space. Like, I cut out all the dead space. Like, if I breathe for a second, I cut that out. I use a program that finds all the dead space and cuts it out so that it's like my videos are like they're very like non-stop. Like there's no break in the speaking. It's very like boom 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 boom. And I like that. I've always liked that because I feel like it's very clean, it's a very precise, like concise edit. But what I was thinking is that for the stream edit, it might actually be a better idea for me not to do the recut. Um, because I'm going to be interacting with chat and because it's going to be less of a continuous stream of thought and more of like a conversation that I'm having between myself and chat and everything. It may be better for me to leave in most of the pauses. Now, of course, if I like want to cut out like a small segment for some reason, like I'll do it or whatever. But I'm curious what everyone thinks about that, like as a viewer. So like if you're watching my stuff, do you feel like the recut, like where I cut out all the silence, is that really important to you in watching my content? Or like when you watch my streams, does it bother you like that there's pausing and that there's like, like there's natural breaks in what I'm talking about and like, sometimes I'm reading chat or whatever. Like, does any of that stuff bother anyone? Or does that just contribute to the atmosphere? Or do you prefer the recut, like the cut versions where it's just me talking, like no breaks between anything? Please let me know what you think. I am very curious. How people feel about that. I'm leaning on like, okay, so here's the thing. The recut is really great. It's honestly super good, but it still takes me a lot of time to go through and like do the edit basically. Even with recut, like recut makes a lot of it a lot faster, but yeah, doesn't really bother me at all personally. Good evening, all you beautiful people. Hey there, Andrew. I have like a lot of curiosities about how people feel about the recut thing. It doesn't seem like anyone has any strong opinions about it though, so I probably won't stick on that topic for very long. I did want to say Freddie has been having a flare up, so he is a very poopy boy. He may in fact poop everywhere on stream tonight. CD, hello, welcome, happy to see you here. Yeah, so I'm honest. So Freddie's on some medication. It's been working really well for a few months. I think I'm gonna keep, like, obviously we're gonna keep doing the medication, but every now and then he'll have a flare up for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days where he, has some bowel issues and, kind of loses control and whatever. So I'm thinking the medication in conjunction with like some fiber, some probiotic, prebiotic, whatever nonsense that I can get to work will be a good idea. So we're trying some of that. With tentative success. I'm worried that it'll make things worse and not better, but that's just something that we have to deal with. It's like trial and error a little bit. Hope he gets better soon. Thank you. Yeah, he was doing really well for a long time. Like for the past few months, he's had very few accidents. But it's like the IBS has a flare up and the medication like can only help up to a certain point. And when he has like a really bad flare up, it's like it really doesn't, like the medication helps, but it's not like solving the problem completely in that moment. Oh, so I have some loose leaf tea, some very strong loose leaf tea. It's like 3 different loose leaf teas that I mix together. It's pomegranate, mango, blueberry, I think is what I'm doing here. But anyway, yeah, so I figured out the recording thing. So we're recording, so that's great. I did not figure out the monetization thing for stream. So this YouTube stream, let me double check it real quick here. Yeah, monetization is off. Can I edit that while I'm streaming? Oh. Oh, why hello there. Yes. So all I have to do is go over, and right when stream starts, I just have to turn on monetization for it. So it's actually it's all working great. Lord Nebo, welcome. Yeah. Yeah. Super great. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I think Restream is working pretty well. There's the stupid watermark, which is up in the top right hand corner. And how much is it for me to like how much does it cost to like upgrade? Oh God, Freddie just went to the bathroom. It's so stinky. So stinky. How do you Oh, one thing I want to say, which is really creepy about Restream, and honestly, let's see here. So the cheapest is like $16 a month. Oh God, that's like so expensive. I mean, what is there anything that's really useful about that other than no? It really doesn't seem like it literally just is basically to get rid of that watermark. That's really expensive. That's really expensive. Okay, so one thing about Restream, oh my gosh, Lord Nebo, $10. Thank you so much for that. That's very kind of you. I really, really appreciate that. Pair character flying in the air with a red cape and a smile on his face. I don't know what you're talking. I have no idea what you're talking about. But yes. Thank you for the $10. Um Anyway, I am. Maybe you were like trying to search for a GIF or something. I don't know. Oh, so the creepy thing about Restream does like some AI stuff where like after you're done streaming, it takes all of your like stream and it puts it through AI, and the AI tries to determine like what was the most what was the most viral part of your stream or whatever. And so obviously it just looks for like where you're like the loudest or where you're talking the most or where like donations happen or something. Oh, wait, that Lord Nebo, your text turned into a GIF. I'm so confused. Why did it pop up as like just text? Pair character flying in the air with a red cape and a smile on his face. Oh, that's an AI description of the GIF that you put on YouTube. Restream doesn't actually share the GIF with me. It just shares like this is what you put in. Hey dear Fred. Hey dear Freddy. So here's the sick baby boy. Here's the poopy boy. Just think, oh no, you're not getting on my lap, buddy. There ain't nothing over here for you. You gotta take your poopy butt and you gotta stay over there, buddy. He's gross. Anyway, Restream does use AI stuff, which is kind of gross. I do not approve. Dude, you got litter all over your little freaking pillowcase over here. Oh my god, he's like, yes, the stretches. I gotta use hand sanitizer like the second I stop petting him because he's such a gross boy right before stream he like farted and he almost like his butt. Ew, that's disgusting. He's a very stinky, poopy, gross boy right now. It's honestly like it's so him. It's so him. I just really hope like so we're trying like prolactin for him is what we're trying. Hopefully that works. Oh wow, it's been 15 minutes. That's kind of wild. It feels like stream just started, but I'm gonna flip. There we go. Do a little more hand sanitizer just to be safe here. Biggest of bugs. Hi, Leah. So excited you're going to be regularly streaming. I need something to listen to while working on commissions. Well, guess what? Here I am. That's super cool that you're getting commission. That's exciting because there's always the fear that AI is going to suck the soul out of like art and ruin the careers of artists. But it honestly, like, I'll be for real, it does seem like AI, um, like it can copy art styles, but it like in terms of doing something actually artistically creative, like it just kind of can't. All it can do is like mechanically create something and based off of like what other people have done, like stealing work. And I feel like there's something about that process that that innately hollows out the the art and makes it feel really bad and like inhuman and like not good. It's like slop art, you know? And so yeah, it's I feel like there's a lot of people that have like an innate like disgust towards AI art, which is like totally valid and like same. Like I think art is really gross, which is actually really interesting. So for those of you who are around a lot, you know that I do fire performance and I do like I'm a flow artist. So I do fire performance, I do flow arts. It's like I just realized how much I was slouching. Um you do like prop manipulation or whatever, right? We you know how like the new AI like Sora came out or whatever and it was like super good at doing videos. Like it was like the first time where it was like, oh my gosh, like this looks almost indistinguishable from reality. Someone tried to have it do like a fire performance, like a flow arts fire performance, and it was like the most broken thing I've ever seen in my life. Like it didn't make any sense. Like the shoulders were just like rotating like complete like all like there was no like stop point, there was no like range of motion was just infinite. It was really really messed up. It looked really funny. So it's kind of interesting, like at least in my art field, like in the movement art field, it feels like AI doesn't really understand how to take complicated applied physics and integrate that with human anatomy to make something that makes sense. So like there's it's like there's a lot of like really complicated physics that's happening with um with flow arts and with fire performance and all that stuff. And the AI doesn't know how to make it work in a way that keeps your shoulders intact and makes it like make sense with human anatomy. So like it can get the shapes right or it can get the human anatomy right, but it can't get both of those right at the same time. It doesn't know how to mesh those two things together. It probably does. There's probably just not enough information. Fred, I love you, buddy, but you're not getting on my lap. Your butt is covered in poop and it's gross, very stinky and gross. So you're gonna have to stay over there, buddy. He keeps trying to get like on my chair, which is funny because like I have like a kneeling chair. Like there's no room. There's absolutely no room for him here. I'm gonna use a lot of hand sanitizer tonight. I can already tell. Cat is gonna force his way onto my lap. Well, there's like no like if his butt wasn't really disgusting, I wouldn't care, right? But there's actually like no way to sit on my lap because um I have a kneeling chair. Like my legs are like angled down. So there's like nowhere for him to really sit or anything, but he still tries. Like sometimes I'll put one leg up, so I'll have like one knee sort of up, and he'll try to like stand on my knee, and then he'll try to like walk on my desk. And he knows he's not allowed on my desk. So let's see here. Sorry about your neck causing pain for you, Amber. That sucks. Hi there, Abdi. Hello, Abdikani. Oh my gosh. My instructor has been hooking me up commission wise. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, but it makes it rough for those of us without a degree and no name. You mean AI? Are you talking about AI? Uh in terms of art, or are you talking about like in a different sense? Make sure to like the stream and boost it in the algorithm. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, please like the stream. If you're watching on Twitch, follow me on Twitch. Let's try to build up that Twitch stuff to make Restream worth it. I mean, like, if Twitch starts making money for me and I start making enough money, I could pay for Restream. It's just that like paying for Adobe is already so freaking expensive, and like my channel barely covers the cost of Adobe. Like with Patreon and stuff. Like I think money wise, I think I make with Patreon where it's at. I think I make like $50 or $60 a month in total. Brad, I love you, buddy. There's no room up here. I'm sorry. And I can't cuddle with you because you're gonna get poop everywhere. You got a gross butt. Your butt's so gross. I'm finally getting my Series 65 license soon, which was always my dream. What is that? Series 65 license? I actually don't know what that is. Excuse my ignorance, but please help me understand what that is. Here, actually, I'm gonna do standing. I don't feel like sitting. I don't feel like sitting. Brad, you're not allowed to use my chair because my chair, I don't want it to be soiled by your butt. I'm sorry. I don't have a blanket on it, so. Yeah, so I have the recording stuff working and I have everything going. Like honestly, Restream is working a little better than I thought it would. I'm adjusting pretty quickly. Thank God. Thank Glob. Fred. He's such a goober. Wealth management advisor. Oh, sick. That's cool. That sounds like a good way to make money. There are probably quite a few wealth advisors that are making okay money right now because there's so many people with so much money that they don't know what to do with or don't know how to manage. I don't know how to manage wealth. I will be honest with all of you right there. I've never like had much wealth to manage, so I'm not very good at like I'm pretty bad at like budgeting and setting things up in a way that's like good in a way that makes sense. Fred, sorry, you can't be on my chair. I can't trust you. You're gonna get poop everywhere. He's gonna be so Freddie has been stuck in the office because of his IBS flare up. So he's kind of begging for attention because he's bored. He's a little bored. He doesn't know what else to do, which is okay. I don't blame him. I feel bad, honestly. It sucks have him in a room when he's got a flare up. But I mean, like, I can't really like have him out and about, like that's just not gonna work. Because poop is gonna just get everywhere. All right, I'm gonna stop talking about Freddy's butt. I feel like I've spent like 90% of the stream so far talking about Freddy's butt, and that's a fact. So, what do we got here? It's also called an IAR, investment advisor representative. That sounds so fancy. That sounds fancier than any job title I've ever had. For sure. That is so fancy. Boy, I just keep looking at Fred. Sorry. Keep staring at him. Anyway, I am able to do stream segments, but because I spent a good amount of my time trying to figure out how to record and like how to get this all working, I didn't actually spend much time talking or thinking about segments to do on stream. So feel free if you have any idea of if you have any like specific news stories that are going through your head right now that you're like, oh, this happened, you should cover this, or you should talk about this. Please do. The one thing that I was considering covering was the Health and Human Services had a they had a conference, I think it was, where they talked about gender affirming care and spewed vitriolic lies and a bunch of other hateful shit. And I tried to listen to it. I genuinely tried to listen to the whole thing because it's important to know what's going on, and it's important to hear the evil come from the evil people's mouths. I could not watch it all. I'm gonna be so real with all of you. I got like 20 or 30 minutes in, and listening to Dr. Oz and RFK spew lies and misinformation with like the most confidence that anyone has ever said anything. It was painful. It was really painful. You know, like it's an interesting thing because on one hand, like I don't care what RFK has to say about anything. I don't care what Dr. Oz has to say about anything. Their opinions to me matter literally zero. Like I don't care like whether they believe transphobic misinformation or anything. That I don't care about any of that, right? What I do care about is the fact that they have an office that holds power, and there's like, you know, precedents, and there are like institutions that like, you know, do studies and have research done, and they have like there are just so many like things that point to the right answer, but they stood up on stage and they just spewed lies, right? With total confidence, with no backing from anything that was legitimate. Like they claim to have backing from certain studies or whatever, but those studies are funded by people who hate trans people, and they are uh explicitly conducted in an effort to try to prove that gender affirming care is harmful, which is funny because none of those studies, none of those hateful studies that have been funded by hate groups have ever shown that like conversion therapy is actually good, or that like trans people are not valid, or that like gender affirming care is really like this horrible thing. Like they have to lie. They have to come up with falsehoods. They have to put smoke and mirrors in front of you. Like one of the things that they talked about in the conference, and again, I'm not going to talk about everything they said because like there were so many lies said. It's like listening to Trump talk. Like if you stop and try to correct every single thing that he says, you're going to be there for 5 hours, right? Like it's not, and no one's going to listen to you. It's not going to be effective. But one of the things that they said that really bothered me. Hey there, buddy. Hey there. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, got distracted. So one of the things that they said that really bothered me was when they got up and they were talking about like I think it was Dr. Oz. He was talking about the cost of bottom surgery, right? Like so he was talking about the cost of a typical bottom surgery for trans femme and trans masc individuals. And he was talking about this in the context of like minors, and of minors having access to gender affirming care, and like he was talking about children getting access to gender affirming care, and then he was talking about bottom surgery. And then he tried to make it sound like there was a connection between like the amount of children getting gender affirming care and the cost of bottom surgery, which is not true because children are not getting bottom surgery. This is not happening. It's not happening. Like there may be one single case or two cases of a 17-year-old who is like a week away from their birthday, and they've been trans, like they've been openly trans since they were like 12 years old, and like they are just like they are the exception, not the rule. And like that might be one kid, right, ever or something, right? If any, like honestly, I'm pretty sure it's none, like or so very few that it's almost statistically none, right? But the way that they were talking about it, the way that Oz was talking about it, Dr. Oz, doctor in quotes, right? He was like talking about it as if there were like there was like a like doctors were making hundreds of millions of dollars a year off of children getting bottom surgery. It's like you just, with a position of power, told a bunch of Americans that there are children getting bottom surgery, and doctors are making insane money off of it or whatever. And it's like it's not happening. It's not happening. But the thing is that what's harmful about this is that they're not just going to ban minors getting bottom surgery. Like, let me be completely clear about my position on this. If they banned minors getting bottom surgery and that was the only thing they banned, I would honestly be like, okay, all right, sorry for the one of you that's like 17 that wants to get your bottom surgery like 4 months early, but you're just gonna have to wait, right? Like there's like you're just gonna have to wait like 4 months, okay? Like that honestly, I'm fine. That's like I would be willing to accept that, right? Like I would be willing to accept that because the harm there is not really all that harmful because it's something that's not happening in the first place. And in any case where it is happening, it's under such exemplary situations that like that person is already receiving gender affirming care. Like they can wait an extra few months or whatever to get their bottom surgery, right? And again, that's like one out of all of America, right? Okay, so like hundreds of millions of people, you get like one kid, okay? But the harm of it is that they're not going to stop there, right? Like they're going to ban adults getting gender affirming care. They're going to ban all sorts of things that have nothing to do with this and have nothing to do with harms associated and have nothing to do with anything other than bigotry. Like they're going to try to make it so that adults can't seek care for something between them and their doctor without the government butting in. And I don't know about you, but Republicans have spent like an insanely long time talking about small government and talking about how, like, you know, like doctors should be able to make decisions, people should be able to make decisions without the government having a say in what you do with your body, with your freedom, with your rights, with your life. Like, you should have primary autonomy and control over your life as long as you're not doing something that is harmful to other people. So, that being said, even if it were harmful to me, like even if gender affirming care was like destroying me and destroying my body and destroying my life, which it's not, if it were, it would still be up to me to choose whether to do that or not. Now, of course, if it were harmful, doctors wouldn't be prescribing it. And so that like people would not like, you know what I mean? People would not be getting the the treatments because they would be harmful, but they're not harmful. So doctors are prescribing them. So people are getting them. And clearly, like the government doesn't have any right to step in there and say anything about that because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like these people have no idea. They are not the people that have conducted these researches, like these research studies. They are not the people that have done meta-analysis of multiple studies talking about all this different stuff. They're not the people that are conducting surveys that are discussing things with transgender individuals. So anyway, all of this to say, do not watch that press conference. Like, it's not worth your time. It's not worth your energy. It's not worth the effort. Instead, what you should focus your effort on is trying to maybe put out a little bit of education, like trying to maybe combat the misinformation with a little bit of information. You know, it's all about like information density, right? And one of the things that the right wing is doing exceptionally well right now is that they're flooding the zeitgeist with an overload of misinformation. But because that information is so densely populated, people assume it's true because they're seeing it in a bunch of different places, right? Like if you go to your president and they say, hey, these trans people are evil. And then if you go to the Health and Human Services and they say, hey, trans people are evil. And then if you keep going and you keep moving around and they're online, you're going on Facebook, everyone's saying trans people are evil, all this stuff is happening. It's going to make you think that there's institutional reasoning, like that there's a backing for this behavior. It makes you think that there must be something inherently wrong with these trans people because there are all these people in positions of power who are saying these like horrible misinformation things, misinforming the population, all that stuff. So anyway, that was really oddly said right at the end. That's okay. The point is that we need to combat that by putting out good information, talking to people in your life that maybe don't have the best information, or maybe just doing something like make a little web comic or some shit, right? Like put something out there in the world that tries to combat this stuff. I think that that's like honestly the best thing that we can do for now in terms of response to this awful press conference that happened. Yeah, it's just the reality of the situation. But this is just something I wanted to talk about because it's dystopian, it's really disturbing, and I lately, like, okay, it takes a lot to bother me. Like, I'm one of those people where I'm really quick to anger, but I'm not quick to depression. Like, when something bad happens, my first initial response is like, I'm angry, I'm mad, I'm motivated, I'm infuriated. Like, that's how I usually respond to things like this, right? When I was listening to this press conference, it made me depressed. it made me genuinely depressed. Like, I got kind of sad about it, and I was sitting there like, I can't believe this is real. I can't believe that that things have backslid this much, and that we have to deal with the Secretary of Health and Human Services standing up here, no sources, trust me, bro, just saying the most messed up, incorrect shit about trans people and lying just through their teeth in an effort to like harm people. Um, it's really messed up. Now, the good news is that I don't think that Americans care. I don't think that most people who are Americans who are watching that kind of stuff, I don't think they care. I think most, like, unless you're in the MAGA cult, most people watching that press conference were probably thinking like, okay, what about cancer? What about like ultra processed food? What about all these other things that are issues? What about like chronic health issues in America? What about access to walkable cities? What about sidewalks? What about like there are so many things that are wrong with our country, that need fixed, things that are like really messed up. And if they're focusing all this effort on still talking about trans people, it's like that meme of Donald Trump where he's like, are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? But instead it's like, are you still talking about trans people? Like, there is a limited amount of tolerance people are going to have for talking about trans people. Like, of course, the bigots will love it. Like, the bigots will always be on board for the bigotry, right? But the general population kind of tolerate it as long as they think that other good things are happening with the government. Like, they're willing to tolerate the anti-trans bigotry as long as they think that Trump is doing something really good for the economy. Well, the economy sucks, and Trump is underwater with the economy in terms of polling. Like, if you look up polling, Trump is like, people do not trust him on the economy anymore. They don't. And that's just the reality of the situation. So when they see energy being spent on this, or on the ballroom, or on whatever other gaudy, like, wealth flaunting shit that Trump wants to do, whenever they focus on stuff like that, they're really just shooting themselves in the foot. They really are. And I'll be totally honest, since the Trump administration and MAGA and everything, since it's crumbling, it's falling apart, I want them to tie the anti-trans movement to MAGA as much as possible. Like, I want all of the people in MAGA to broadly proclaim that, like, if you're anti-trans, you're MAGA. Like, tie those ideologies together so that when MAGA continues sinking into the abyss, as MAGA continues to collapse, the anti-trans movement will collapse alongside of them. Like, if people will inevitably view Trump as like toxic. His legacy will be one of failure, will be one of incompetence, will be one of just a whole bunch of negative words, right? Like, I could say so many negative things about Trump's legacy, but he's not going to be looked upon as like a great, wonderful president, right? And if part of his platform is immigration, and one of the other pillars of his platform is like anti-trans stuff, then down the road, every time someone does anti-trans stuff, they're immediately going to think like, why are you copying Donald Trump, the most unpopular president of all time? Like, why are you taking a page out of Donald Trump's book when he's literally the most unpopular president of all time? And so, yeah, continue doing anti-trans stuff under the guise of Donald Trump. Like, continue doing that. Like, that only helps the trans community in the future. It hurts us now, but it'll help us in the future. And that's kind of the hope that I'm holding on to. Maybe that's a little bit hopium, but I think that just makes sense. MAGA is crumbling. The future of the Republican Party is in dire straits. They don't have anyone that can effectively replace Trump and uphold the movement. Like, MAGA will collapse when Trump is gone, or when he passes away, or whatever. And it's just a matter of time. So, let's just keep tying all that. Yeah, and also keep tying Israel to to Donald Trump as well. Keep doing that. All right, so let me say a couple things here. I want to go ahead. So that might actually be a video. That might be a video. And I did not listen to chat or read chat at all. So what I'm going to do is probably cut out like this little section, or maybe not. You don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do. Nobody knows what I'm going to do. So Wolf says, if these last couple years have taught me anything, it's to never trust a conservative Republican, period. True facts, so real. Ashlyn, thank you so much for the $50. You did not miss too much. We spent a lot of time early in the stream talking about like life stuff and stream and me setting it up and everything. So you're good. You're totally good. Thank you so much for the $50. That's huge. Metallica, Eye of the Beholder, Freedom with their exception. Yeah. Honestly, I stopped watching the news 2 months ago altogether, and I feel a lot better. I mean, I've been limiting my news consumption as well. I think that like in this information era, that it's almost a necessity to limit your interaction with news media to a certain extent. Obviously, I still think it's incredibly important to be involved and informed on what's going on, especially in terms of things that are really important to you and relevant to your life. But I do agree that like they are trying to make it as depressing as possible. Like they want us to look at the news with complete disgust and ire and hopelessness, and it's all Jover. That's how they want us to feel, right? And so limiting your news consumption in order to maintain joy, I think, is important. Because joy is resistance. Like the more happy trans people there are in America, the more that the conservative movement is like losing, right? And I know that that's hard. I know that that's difficult right now, but we have to consider the fact that like there have been really bad times in America for trans people, like incredibly bad times have existed for us. And those people still had to find reasons to live and like still had to try to find joy. And I'm sure that even though there are people that have lived through horrible, horrible atrocities and have seen some really disgusting things from humanity, they still find a will to live and they still find a way to enjoy parts of life, even if like their life isn't entirely pleasure, as it never is. Like they still find a way to live life and get through it and even maybe enjoy it a little bit. And that's that's actually like more important than people think it is. So try to keep that in mind. Try to consider the fact that like you maybe want to focus on your own personal health, wellness, and your sense of enjoyment out of life. And if you're feeling giga depressed, if you're feeling like doom spiraling, if you're looking at the news every day like, oh my gosh, there's no hope, we're so screwed, like maybe it's time to take a step back. This past year, I got back into flow arts, right? I've talked about that a lot on my channel, on my streams and stuff. And part of that is going to flow festivals. Well, at flow festivals, you're like camping, you're out in the woods, you're away from society, and oftentimes you don't really have signal, or even if you have signal, like the last thing you want to do is be on your phone because there's like so many awesome things happening around you with so many awesome people, like you don't want to waste your time on your phone. And doing that and going to those events this past summer was pivotal to my happiness and pivotal to my ability to recover from like the burnout I was feeling, from the depression that I was feeling, from the frustration that I was feeling. Getting just some time with some friends, like, you know, I go to a flow festival and everyone's incredibly affirming. Like no one's transphobic, everyone's really kind, everyone's really affirming, everyone's really nice. No one is a jerk about it. And it makes you realize that like, sure, these people in power can have all this power and they can have all these hateful beliefs, but that shit doesn't trickle down necessarily. You know, like it does to their followers in some people, but like there's a lot of people who don't agree with what's going on in the world right now. They don't agree with the Trump administration and they don't agree with the direction that our country is moving in towards hate, you know? And you just got to understand that there's a lot of those people. I think there's actually more of those people than there are the bigots and the hateful people. It's just that the bigots and the hateful people are really loud. They're very aggressive. They have money because they have hate groups that are funding them. So, whew. Okay, let me keep reading here. I'm sorry, that one comment took me off on a journey there. LGBTQ plus issues are the lowest in the right wing base list, but the party puts 50% of their money on it. Yeah, Rusty, that's a great point. Like they will completely focus on these issues that their base actually doesn't really care about that much. A small subsect of their base, the Christian fundamentalists or whatever, care deeply about it, but most of their base, they care about kitchen table issues, right? And if they're not focusing on that stuff, that's at the cost of their own popularity. The last hurrah of decrepit dinosaurs with a mindset that doesn't comport with today's society. Ugh, let me reread that. The last hurrah of decrepit dinosaurs with a mindset that doesn't comport with today's society, that is in dire need of progression. Yeah. Underwater on all issues. Yeah, Trump is underwater on all issues. Thank you, Ashlyn, for pointing that out. And yeah, it is definitely like the gerontocracy, like these people with this old ass mindset. They're on their way out. So Trump can go down with the anti-APAC correction. True. The anti-transness tie anti-transness to Magna. Magna? Oh my gosh, guys, I can't speak. I don't know what's happening. Tie anti-transness to MAGA. Most astute opinion I've ever heard you offer. Well done, I like it. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, it's something that I really believe. Like lately, I've been thinking about that a lot, and it's like, it's true that the more they tie that belief and that political point to their movement, the more it's like an anchor. It's like tying yourself to an anchor, and it's just gonna drag them deeper underwater, and it's gonna take the bigotry with them. There are useless sacks of shit, and to be honest, mainstream is nothing but propaganda. Oh my, why can I not talk? They are useless sacks of shit, and to be honest, mainstream is nothing but propaganda. Until people at the top are going to jail, I just don't give a heck anymore. Oh, you meant the Dems. Yeah, they are useless. Yeah, they are super useless. Like, they are probably one of the worst opposition parties in all of American history. It's incredibly frustrating. I talked about this last time on my stream. It made some people mad. We absolutely cannot do vote blue no matter who anymore. We can't do it. It's not an effective strategy for moving the Democratic Party to the left. It's not going to work, and we cannot accept anything less than the leaders that we need. Like, we cannot accept anything less than like Zoran Mamdani. Like, I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's the truth. Like, we need leaders that are going to fight for us and that are going to be like revolutionary leaders, essentially. Like, we can't accept like I think I said this last stream, if Kamala Harris runs in 28, I'm not voting for her. I'm not doing it. Unless I gave a caveat. If she becomes incredibly progressive, if she becomes like a revolutionary leader, sure. 1 second. Sorry, my nose was running, and like, I don't know if anyone has a septum, but like when your nose is running, it's like really annoying when you have a septum ring. You have to like take it out and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, what was I? Yeah, the Dems suck. The Dems absolutely suck. We need to take over the Democratic Party. We need to accept nothing less than revolutionary leadership, and we need to fight for that. Like, we need to potentially sacrifice for that. That's just the truth of it. No, that's not just hopium. That's hella reasonable. I already see so many people become frustrated by the bigoted deflections. Yeah, no, that's so true. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Trump told us about the extraterrestrials as a way to distract from everything. Yeah, he's like, are you guys still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? Do you want to hear about what was that place? 51, Area 51. It's all Jover. LOL, forgot about that one. It may be best to limit coverage of the news to 1 to 2 times a week. The overload of information isn't worth the stress it creates. I would agree with that. Just focus on topics that are important to you, and everything else, like, I mean, it's important, but it's not important to you. You know, you got to consider that you're not you don't need to be in the know on everything. His grave is going to have an electric fence around it to keep people from pissing on it. True. The more we join together, the less power they actually have. True. Transphobes want us to be miserable. So long as we have always stay positive and happy, they can never win. If a Mamdani style Dem takes over the 28 nomination, then I think MAGA and everything associated with it will be seen in similar ways to how Hoover style paleo conservatives were. That's a really interesting point. And I think you're right. Like, we need leadership that contrasts starkly with Trump. Like that's why I'm saying, like, I won't vote for Harris. Like, if she gets in office and nothing changes, do you know what is going to happen? We're going to end up with another Republican president. Like, these corporate Democrats, these neoliberal Democrats, they're almost as bad as Republicans. Like, they're almost not worth defending, like, at all. Like, it's complacency at this point. Like, it's complacency, and it's complicit in the horrors of the right wing current far right, like, you know, political movement. I think I need more tea. I think that's why I'm like struggling over here. Boogers. Gross. GOP used to be anti-gay, but people seem to forget or forgive. Yeah, that's true. A lot of conservative. Well, see, that's the thing about, like, left wingers and right wingers, right? Left wingers are always right. And then right wingers are always wrong, but it takes them a lot longer to arrive at the correct position. So in 10 years, everyone's going to be against the genocide in Gaza. Everyone's going to be against anti-trans legislation. Everyone's going to be against all this stuff. Like, everyone's going to have the same, like, everyone's going to have those left-wing beliefs. They're going to become centrist beliefs in 10 years. Which is an interesting thing to think about, because really what that kind of means is that, like, over the course of history, the Overton window has overall shifted left. And we can talk about the fact that the Overton window has shifted right a lot as well. Oh, also, I need to write down the timestamps real quick I actually don't remember when I started that talk about the Health and Human Services thing. I think it was like 20 minutes in, and it's like, I don't know, if we were doing messages like 45 minutes or something like that. So that's like 25 minutes. We'll see if that turns into a good video. Does anyone think that would be a good video? What I just talked about with Health and Human Services and all that stuff that followed from that. Anyone think that would be a good video? I think it'd be a decent video. I probably need to put an intro in the beginning of it being like, hey, I'm going to do things a little differently. And this is that, but boogers. Hearts Foundry, you have a septum too? Yeah. It's a little annoying. Like, actually, I was kind of freaking out because, like, there's, like, light that reflects off my septum ring, and for a minute there I thought it was like a booger, like, clinging to my septum ring, and I was like, that is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life. But that's not what happened. I was just freaking out. Let me see here. Then if it's not a Mamdani, okay, so I said his name improperly. Then, did you spell it wrong on accident, or were you making fun of the way that I said that? Mamdani. How is it? Hold on. Yeah, it's Mamdani. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I get paranoid sometimes. So then if it's not Mamdani, vote for Trump or Vance? No. That's not what I said. And if you think that that's what I said, then you need to very seriously reconsider honestly what I'd say is that, like, if we don't get a good enough leader, just don't vote. And we went through this last time. A lot of people got mad at me for saying that last time. And I just don't know what to tell you guys. Like, I'm arriving at this belief where, like, if we elect Kamala Harris in 28 and she does absolutely nothing to improve America, improve the situation, and just things continue to get worse, as they will under a neoliberal Democrat, like, even if she gets incrementally slightly better things, sort of, possibly, maybe, kind of in there, like, even if she does something incremental, it's not going to be enough to stop another Republican getting in. Like, if we elect Kamala Harris in 28, we are electing Stephen Miller or JD Vance in 32. Like, you know what I mean? A vote for Kamala Harris is a vote for Stephen Miller in the future. Like, you're setting us up if you do that, vote blue for no matter who. If we continue to do that, it sets us up for this never-ending cycle that we're stuck in of consistent back and forth between, like, someone who isn't the worst person that you've ever elected in your entire life back to the worst person you've ever elected in your entire life. And in order to stop the cycle, we need revolutionary leadership. We need someone who's going to do something like FDR level good for the country so that, like, you know, things can get better and we can start a road to recovery, and so that people can see what happens when politics actually does something good for the people. And so if we voted in someone like Mamdani in 28 to presidency, then they're going to get 2 terms, and then maybe a Democrat wins after them. You know what I mean? Like, it breaks the cycle, and it gives us a chance to actually recover, rather than this whole, like, cycle that we've been trapped in, where it's like 4 years of things plateauing and not getting as bad as they were. Like, things are still getting worse, but slower than they were before. And then now, like now things are getting worse faster than they've ever gotten before. And that's because we elected Biden, and because Biden didn't step down and we accepted neoliberalism for 4 years. Does that make sense? Am I making sense there? Like, I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I'm not saying that, like, I'm happy Trump is in office, or that I think it's great, or that if we get some neoliberal Democrat, then, like, we would, like, I don't understand. I understand people having like a whoa, what are you saying there kind of reaction to what I'm saying, but I really hope that the message I'm actually trying to get through gets through here, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's see here. Establishment Dems are counting on you to compromise because they're holding your vote to ransom. It's not vote for this person because they're good. It's vote out of fear of the GOP candidate. You just said exactly what I've been trying to say in such a succinct way. I don't know how to say your name, Shannon or something. Thank you so much for that message. That is exactly what I'm saying. They are holding the Dems have absolutely no positive messaging. The Dems have literally nothing to offer other than not being the Republican. And that's the funny thing, is because they're not offering anything in contrast to the Republicans, they are Republicans. Like, they are basically Republicans. That's why every time we lose on the messaging war, this is why every single time the conservatives hold the top of the power dynamic in these kinds of conversations that we're having. Like, we have a conversation on immigration, and Democrats capitulate and capitulate and capitulate to the Republicans without actually offering anything as like a substitute for the framing that the conservatives are giving. They say, okay, yeah, there are too many people coming across the border. Yeah, there's an issue at the border. No, don't capitulate to their framing at all. Stop that. Immigration is a good thing. It's good for our country. The benefits vastly outweigh the negatives. And if anything, it's basically slavery again. Like, we are taking advantage of these poor people in a way that should disgust every single American living in this country, and we should strive to make things better for these people. We should strive to make life better for these people, because they are making life better for us in ways that we do not appreciate, in ways that we do not see, in ways that we will never understand. Okay? The typical privileged American has no idea what an immigrant has to go through to get to this country and fight for that American dream. I've worked with immigrants before. In my last job that I just left, I worked with someone that immigrated from Mexico with her daughter and has fought working 60, 70 hours a week, busting her ass to keep like her, to get her daughter through high school, to like pay for her sports, to like be able to live in America. Like they fight really hard and they work really hard. And sometimes these people are more patriotic than Americans because they actually care more than Americans, because it like it's really like the things that happen are really effectual to them. Like when suffering is perpetuated, they are the first ones to suffer. Woo! That was Sheesh. Okay. Ever heard about Rosa Luxemburg and Carl Liebeneck? Rosa Luxemburg sounds familiar, but not this second. I'd be curious to know more. I can look them up later, or you can say something about them if you want. We need communism. I agree that we should move away from capitalism for sure. Capitalism is a plague, is evil, and is not. Oh, you're about to unplug water. You almost unplugged your water. Okay. Alrighty. So she was way too protective of Biden and would break with Israel and that genocidal. Yeah. She should have broken with Biden. I mean, there were so many. She wouldn't break with. Yeah, correct. She should have broken with Israel. She did not do it, and that I think that is honestly probably the reason why she lost. Kamala had advisors working, and the reason you can tell that is because the Democrats are refusing to release the post-mortem on the 2024 election. They're refusing to release the post-mortem, which means to me that they know that it was Gaza and they don't want to admit it because they've spent so much money, time, and effort fighting against like the Palestinian rights movement. Like they've spent so long making excuses for the genocide that they can't go back now. They think they can't go back now. Kamala had advisors working with the old tried and true method, thus failed tremendously due to not being a firebrand and going for the jugular. Yeah, no, I agree that she listened to the advisors over like her own, you know, perception of what would work and what needed done and what would have been the right move. That is absolutely what happened, but that's exactly the reason why I can't trust Kamala in the future, because she's gonna do the same thing again. She's just like, if she were to run again, she's just going to listen to the advisors again. Like she's just gonna do the same thing all over again, and we're gonna end up with another crappy campaign that it convinces no one. Hey, I finally got to see the stream. Welcome, Gwen. Happy to have you here. Anyways, thank you for the stream. Glad I caught one. If you like public domain movies, visit my Twitch. Oh, okay, cool. See ya, Boofed It. Have a great one. Thank you for being here. Sorry, I think I'm a little late to missing your message, so you're probably gone already. I'm lagging behind a little bit here with chat, so let me try to catch up. Oh boy. The U.S. has always had two conservative parties. We don't have a viable left party. True. They're Demo can. That's a really interesting way to say that. Also make YouTube shorts to increase views and traffic. Yeah. I might try YouTube short. Push your passionate bids to strike nerves and stir the pot. True. Oh no, I hope you don't become one of those that just repackages your streams. Oh, Quinn, I mean like hold on. Let me finish catching up on chat and then I'll respond to that if that's okay. Probably me misspelling. We need an actual socialist or communist. I'd say the Overton window has shifted right politically, but culturally we have shifted more to the left as far as acceptance of queer folk, universal healthcare. But yeah, like economically things have shifted rightward, but culturally things have shifted left. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree with that, Wolfie. Yeah, politics is about incremental improvement. No vote is the same as voting for the Republican. No, I think that voting for the neoliberal Democrat is voting for a Republican. Mamdani can't run for president. He isn't a native born citizen. No, no, no. I wasn't. Oh my gosh. I wasn't saying literally Mamdani for president. I meant like someone like Mamdani, like someone who is like a social democrat like him. That's not. Do not give bad candidates a mandate. Oh my God. Leftists not voting helped us get into this mess. Marx was also a pragmatist. Like, come on, it's basic logic. Well, but like, can you respond to the argument that I was making? Can you, instead of just saying, oh my God, you're wrong, shut up, can you be like, hey, I listened to the reasons that you gave, and this is why that is not true. She's just a lib fascist. Oh, this is dumb. Yo-yo politics. Blue no matter who. If we had, I wouldn't be worried about being rounded up every day. No, I disagree with you. I'm sorry. I don't think that like shaming people into voting for someone who isn't representing their best interest is like a good way forward, because we're just going to vote people into office that are going to push people further away from the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is at like the most unpopular, that it's like it's at its least popular point ever. And we got there by doing blue no matter who. We got there by like, oh, we have to elect Schumer into office. What if there's a Republican who wins? You gotta vote for Schumer. Oh, you gotta vote for Jeffries. Oh, you gotta vote for these people. Like, I'm sorry, but like, it's just not working. It's not working. And like, you're only like, the only response I'm seeing from chat, and I'm not trying to like come down on anyone, but the only thing I'm seeing from chat is just a you're wrong. It's just you, like, just people saying you're wrong. But I've seen no evidence that voting blue for no matter who is actually good for us. Is actually like, name one situation where it's actually done something good for us. When has blue no matter who, like, when has that actually worked? When has that actually given us a leader that is significantly better than the alternative? I don't. I am with the majority. Makes me a Bolshevik. Technically, I would love a Muslim in the White House that would really own the right. It's literally illegal for Mamdani to wrong. He can't. I wasn't saying Mamdani. I meant like someone like him. Okay, maybe I got like too passionate and I forgot to clarify. But I thought I clarified at the beginning of the statement, and that I thought that was good enough. From a political science perspective, no, it doesn't make sense. It would take over a decade for the changes people like us want. What doesn't make sense? Sorry, I'm reading behind on chat because I was ranting for so long. But like, it makes sense from the perspective that we keep electing leaders who keep leading to worse leaders. Like, not voting for the obvious, like voting for Obama led to Trump. Voting for Biden led to Trump again. Like, Obama did jack shit in office. He let things get significantly worse under his watch. So people like lost hope. Like, by voting in Obama, like we kind of put ourselves in this position. Like, Trump was not like a singular election. Like, this has been a cycle that has been present in American politics for as long as anyone can remember. And if anything, I think the establishment people love, neoliberal Democrats love vote blue no matter who. Oh, what? It's an anti-abortion Democrat? Sorry, vote blue no matter who. Sorry, you have to vote blue no matter who. They're anti-abortion, but they're the Democrat. Sorry, you gotta vote for them. Like, I'm sorry, but I just don't see how that makes any sense. Not voting for the obvious lesser of two evils gets you the greater of two evils. I hope this message got through about a year ago. Oh boy. I think if we had elected Kamala Harris, obviously things would have stopped getting at, like, things would not be as bad as they are right now. But in 2032, we would be set up for like a Stephen Miller president. No, that doesn't make sense because it's fundamentally a rational chain of thinking. There is no guarantee that voting blue will naturally lead to GOP winning later. But it's literally happened like every time. Like, I don't understand. Like, the only time that it hasn't happened is when we voted for FDR. FDR was the only time where we voted blue, and it led to us having more Democrats in office later. Like, Democrats were historically extremely popular when we got FDR elected, but then we just keep electing like Bill Clinton and like all these people who are like terrible. Yes, I'm afraid of the GOP candidates. Aren't you? Yes, I am. But I'm also afraid of electing Democrats who are going to do absolutely nothing to make things better so that we end up with more Trump later or more Stephen Miller or more Russell Vogt. Jeez, we are not going to agree on this. I feel like Chad is just going to keep fighting me on this. Dem slogan, what power do we have? You only have two choices when voting until progressivism becomes more popular. I mean, I disagree. Or maybe I do agree. Yeah, actually, I do agree. You only have two choices. Voting for conservatism or not voting. Those are your two choices when we have a neoliberal Democrat and a conservative on the ballot. You can either vote for conservatism or you can vote not at all. We're having the exact same thing with our Labour Party in the UK right now. Basically, Republicans, when they offered high-speed rail, radical medical reform, student debt forgiveness, etc. Look at Biden's original versus what the Dems didn't get. Oh my gosh. Okay, Oscar. Did they get any of that good stuff done? No. Why didn't they get that done? Because they don't care. Because they don't want to get that stuff done. Like, the Democrats let Joe Manchin piss on their plans. They let him just take a shit on their reform and on their plans and on their bills. Like, Build Back Better would have actually been slightly transformative legislation if Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema didn't just go like take a giant shit all over it. Okay? And Biden did literally nothing to stop it. So Biden is complicit in that. So when Biden offered that stuff, he was lying. He was not actually offering high-speed rail, radical medical reform, student loan forgiveness. He was not offering any of that because he didn't actually care about getting it passed. Otherwise, he would have gotten it passed. One thing that we can learn from the Trump administration is that, you know, presidents can get a lot of shit done. Like, if a party takes control of the government, they can just use and abuse power to bend the government in whatever direction they want. Like, the checks and balances only exist as excuses to not do the shit that they don't want to do. Like, the lobbyists say, don't pass this stuff. And they say, okay, we'll just blame what are those people called? The parliamentariat or parliamentariat or whatever. Yeah, don't worry. We'll just say it's their fault and we won't get this stuff passed. We're not going to do anything good for the American people. Don't worry. I feel like we can call immigrants Americans too. Oh my God. Oh my God. I say one thing you all disagree with, and you're like, well, actually, when you say immigrants, can you actually just call them Americans? Great, they'll capitulate. Whatever. The Dems had to concede to the right during Trump too. What? Honestly, Quinn, I'm sorry, I don't know what you meant by that. Establishment Dems are still in the delusion that they can get moderate Republicans to vote blue. Had to be said. Hello all, I just came on and the longest ad played, but I didn't skip it so you get some revenue. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Trump was Biden's fault. He should have withdrawn and let Kamala become president. I agree with that. Like Trump 1.0 was Obama's fault. Trump 2.0 was Biden's fault. Someone in my family was killed for speaking Yiddish in public in Russia in 1905. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's random. Maybe you could go on other people's channels to reach people. We also had Circassian frame. Uh, someone like Mamdani. So how did that go with Bernie? Bernie got shafted by the Democratic Party. Like the Democratic Party prevented him from they took the win away from him. Bernie was going to win, and then the Democrats were just like, no. That's why we need like a total takeover of the Democratic Party. Like we need to accept nothing less than radical change within the Democratic Party. I voted for Jill Stein. Well, see, I don't agree with voting for Jill Stein. I mean, I guess that's basically the same thing as not voting. I just read Trump forced and NASA to shut down its largest library and will have all the books destroyed. Oh, that's really cool. I live in a gerrymandered state. My vote is meaningless. Yes and no. The onus is not on me to prove that Democrats are no different from Republicans. You're making that claim, so you should provide actual evidence. Then you need to do so. Oscar, holy shit. How is it not abundantly clear that Republicans and Democrats are the same fucking party? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get mad. It's just like, I think I'm pointing out the most obvious thing that has ever been pointed out in the history of politics. Like, Democrats offer nothing in opposition to the Republican. They don't even fight the trans stuff anymore. Like, they just capitulate. Like, if we vote a Democrat into office, they're gonna start saying shit like, oh, I don't know about these trans people. Like, if we vote Harris in 28, she's gonna be like, we need to ban trans people from bathrooms. And then you're all gonna be like, oh no, oh my gosh, how could this happen? Like, because I'm telling you, it's gonna happen. The issue is that the two parties collude to make it very, very difficult to even get on the ballot. I get that. Barack Obama was a lot better than the alternative. But was he? Like, we had total economic collapse under him, which kind of wasn't really his fault, but was also sort of his fault. And then he did nothing for 8 years. He passed the ACA, which is like spitting in the face of everyone who thought he was going to actually get something done. Blue No Matter Who died when Mamdani was running. Yeah, that's funny. That's true. We haven't done Blue No Matter Who yet. If we had, we'd have gotten Dems in both the White House and Congress. You need both to do anything significant. Excuse me. Oh my God. We haven't done Blue No Matter Who yet? Yes, we have. Corporate neoliberal Democrats have been saying Blue No Matter Who for a long time. Sorry, I just completely dropped my camera. Hold on. Oh my God. Give me a sec. Jeez. Y'all are like really bad at debate, by the way. Let me find. Where did my camera go? It's like pointing at the ground or something. Oh, there it is. Hold on. We're almost there. I clearly have a very good setup. I didn't realize I had so many like neoliberal apologists in my chat. I'm not gonna lie to anyone here. Okay, so how did voting for Obama lead to Trump? Yeah, so Obama handpicked Hillary, who stopped Bernie from getting the primary. Hold on, we're almost there. There we go. I also unplugged a monitor, so that took a minute to fix. I apologize for throwing off the rhythm of the stream. Yeah, I feel like some of you are gonna like unsubscribe from me for this, but like that's fine. That's okay. All right. Can you provide, or how did voting for Obama lead to Trump? Yeah, so voting for Obama, he did nothing. He let the country get significantly worse under his watch and did literally nothing, even though he literally promised to fix it. He promised to make the country better and to be the hope candidate and hope and change, guys. And then he did literally nothing. And then also he hand selected Hillary Clinton, who prevented Bernie from winning the nomination, who would have been like an actual decent president. So Hillary, like if Bernie was running against Trump, Bernie would have won, but Hillary ran, so we lost. Obama sucked, but at least that Trump guy is getting things done. That's not what I said. That's not what my point is. And if that's what you think I'm saying, then you're just not listening. Schumer's will gain 2 suburban moderates for every working class voter we lose, is how we got Project 25 and now 26. Dems are the problem, not the voters. Yes. 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 If you are in my chat and you are unironically like vote shaming in the year of our Lord 2026, I'm sorry, but you need to wake the fuck up. You need to wake the fuck up. The issue is that voting isn't what gets revolution done in the first place. Every major leftist win happened because of grassroots organization. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. Voting is important, but like so is like organizing. Like if we can't take over the Democratic Party with progressives, then voting is pointless. Like if we can't cycle the leadership, the current neoliberal leadership out in favor of progressive leadership, we've already lost. Like there's no fight to be had until we get people in office that are actually going to do things that are good. Woo! All right, so the issue is that voting isn't what gets revolution. Oh wait, I just read that. 2032, I'm worried about now. Well, of course I'm worried about now, but we have to consider that we're stuck in like a trauma cycle in our country. Like you have to consider that this has been like Trump didn't happen out of nowhere. It's not like everything was perfect and then Trump happened. Like things have been getting worse for a long time, and the lead up to Trump is because of Democrats and Republicans. It's not just the Republicans' fault. It's not just because people didn't vote for freaking Hillary. Like it's not about that. It's like there's a reason why people didn't vote for Hillary. And if you're not willing to contend with that, if you're not willing to consider the fact that the Democratic Party has done jack shit to earn the vote of its base, then I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what to say to you. Like, we're just working off of 2 different realities. Oh, leftist infighting really drives me crazy. I talked about this last stream, but I watched Andor, and like, honestly, Andor like depressed the shit out of me because like it's so accurate how like we're all trying to make the country better. Like Quinn here wants to make the country better. Oscar wants the country to be better. Everybody wants the country to be better. And yet like here we are like unable to like agree that like we're on the same side even if we disagree on tactics, and unable to agree to disagree. And instead we're focusing on this bullshit infighting rather than just like agreeing that we have a common enemy and that like, you know, maybe we should consider each other's arguments. Like I've been a vote blue no matter who person for a long time. I've been the kind of person in the last election, I was the kind of person who was like, hey, you need to vote for Harris. Even if it kind of sucks, you need to do it. I was saying that shit. And now I'm sort of like doubting that was the right thing to say. And like I'm allowed to have these conversations and I'm allowed to have these considerations. And honestly, it's really disappointing to see chat Not everybody in chat, I want to say, but to see some people in chat, I will say I have actually just been hyper fixating on the people who are disagreeing with me. So there are people here who are agreeing with me, but the point is that like the fact that you guys don't even want to let me have this conversation is like is proof in and of itself that like you don't care about having this conversation. You care about being right. If the worst side holds, and I'm still lagging behind chat. Like honestly, I'm so far behind chat. It's pretty wild. I'm gonna speed read through chat real quick. I'm gonna stop responding to things in detail and just speed read through. So let me see. If the worst side holds the mathematical advantage, then not voting for the most optimal alternative is statistically a vote for the mathematical favorite. First of all, FDR had a supermajority because they were okay with rabid Southern racists in their party. That's a historical fact. What do you make of that? We had closed the most debt in terms. Well, so the thing about FDR is that he was willing to use his bully pulpit to like bully Democrats that didn't agree with him into submission. Like what I'm talking about is that FDR was actually willing to use his political power to achieve something that would be good for the country so that Democrats could win in the future. And what we have now are Democrats that are not willing to do that. We have not elected a Democrat since FDR that's willing to actually do something and fight for the betterment of the country so that we can win in the future. And so if we keep electing Democrats like that, if we keep electing Obama or Biden or Harris or Buttigieg or Newsom or any of these freaking neoliberal Democrats, we are going to just end up with another Trump, another Stephen Miller, another, like Russell Vogt. Like these people are going to get into office because there's going to be no counter argument against them when the Democrats offer nothing that substantially deviates from what the Republicans are offering. Look at the Democrats. They capitulate on framing to everything that the Republicans say. Woo. We had closed the most debt in terms of deficit under Clinton. Shitty dude, but there's an issue with settling for mediocrity. I don't really think that like the debt ceiling stuff, like I don't really think that that's like the biggest concern right now. I think obviously like military spending is a big problem, but like Clinton was like the beginning of the neoliberal Democrats. Like he is the reason he's part of one of the biggest reasons why we're in this mess to begin with. Like the Democrats before Clinton were actually like fighters, and now we're like we're here in this reality where Democrats are spineless worms who don't achieve anything. Two things can be true at once. Way more people who didn't vote for Harris should have, and also Dem leadership has failed in reaching out to the working class. It isn't mutually exclusive. I agree that they're not mutually exclusive, but how do we make it clear to the Democrats that neoliberalism is dead if we keep electing neoliberalism? Riddle me that. It's all got really fucked under Citizens United. I keep responding to things. I'm sorry. Got really fucked under Citizens United, and then all the capitalist pigs flooded in. This isn't mutually exclusive. They didn't have to get the most done because they didn't have the votes to prevent GOP interference. I'm not talking BBB. I'm talking the campaign policy proposals. I would vote for Gloria La Riva. I don't know who that is. This is all accurate. No, they can't. The Dems are just weak protectors. Name me a year that Dems have had control of the whole government since FDR, not the White House. The whole government just won. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We have not had that because Democrats suck. We would win super majorities like the Republicans if we actually fought for things. If they actually were willing, like we are only just now. Okay, Republicans have been gerrymandering for 10 years. Democrats are literally just now threatening to gerrymander in opposition of the Republicans. That is unacceptable. It took Democrats 10 years to accept that that is part of the game and that we need to be playing this fucking game. Like, I'm sorry, like, it's not acceptable. And that's why we keep losing. That's why we do not control the government. Democrats are the majority party. Republicans are the minority party. The only way the Republicans are able to win is because the Democrats don't stand in the way from them doing voter disenfranchisement and all that other stuff. Name third party, or I wish third parties were viable. Me too. America is a continent. PAC money made things way worse. Yeah, agreed. Citizens United was passed in 2010. Dems got progressively worse. I agree. The Dems could throw a wrench in things even now, but they are not. The Republicans did it to Obama, for instance. Yeah, no, that's very true. They could do more to fight, but they don't. I'm here to troll leftists and chew bubble gum and roll out a bubble gun. What? Is that actually a troll? I don't know. At the end of the day, arguments like this literally don't do anything but empower the right. Voting against Democrats is not going to magically force them to be the leftist. Okay. You believe what you want to believe. It has to get so severely bad to make a Dem attractive to voters. Then they get in and give us table scraps compared to what they could give us. They're useless. I agree. It's cherry legend. And that's why we keep losing to people like Trump, because the Democrats are soulless husks of people. All this does is get more demons in power who will actively obstruct the actual influential work that is being done. No. Voting for these neoliberal Democrats because vote blue no matter who is what is getting, that's what's getting these people into office. How is Bernie going to win? Super Tuesday went to Biden overwhelmingly. Wait. I'm talking about like 2016, right? Are you talking about 2016? Leftism does not happen at the ballot box. It partially does. It also happens within activism. Wishful thinking advocates are exhausting. I'm hanging with you though. Okay. No fuck Dems. We need new parties. Abolish the two-party bullshit. Well, I appreciate you for not unsubscribing. I'm sorry if my tone is like really aggressive. I'm just really passionate about this, and I'm sure you can tell. No fuck Dems and oh wait, I already read that. I want to hug you in my fursuit. I mean, squeeze you real hard, make that squeaky noise. I pause. That's very wholesome. Thank you. They're the same today. If you're a capitalist, you are the enemy. Non-binary. Harris created the first pro-trans rights legal office all the way back in 2003, for the record. Yeah, a lot of good that's done, right? Oh, how many times did she stand up for us during the campaign? How many times did she like go to bat for us during the campaign? Oh, what was that? 0? Oh, right, 0? Right. If a Newsom style Dem is elected, that will happen. Like they had the opportunity to, like, the Democrats had the opportunity to put abortion rights and human rights into law, and they didn't fight for it. They didn't even fight for it. They didn't even try. Even if they would have failed, I would have cared if they had tried. If a Newsom style Dem is elected, that will happen. Centrists like him are super eager to codify everything the GOP is doing right now. Yeah, if you listen to Newsom's podcast, he openly admits that he's like anti-trans in a lot of things. Oh, it seems like that person's a right-winger trolling on leftists. That's interesting. That's never happened before. Democrats and Republicans are literally center-right. You mean blue MAGA. I'm sure John McCain would have advocated for trans issues. I'm not even sure what you mean by that. Nice carpet. Oh, yeah. Awesome. It's amazing how much leftist discourse is just them pretending not to understand things. That's making discourse possible. Gravity attack, going on a wild ride. I heard debate. National elections have become once every 4 years puppet show behind your desk, dangling by a political thread. If the ACA didn't exist, neither me nor my mom with cancer would be able to get the medicine therapy. Tell me how that doesn't matter. I'd love to hear it. I'm not saying the ACA did like nothing good. I'm saying that the ACA, like, you and your mom should have free healthcare. You should not have to rely on a private healthcare subsidy handout to the private insurance industry in order to have affordable insurance. That's not even affordable. Like, I'm sorry. And now that the ACA subsidies didn't get passed, you get to see the reality of the situation. Now that those subsidies haven't been passed, you get to see how fucking terrible the ACA stuff is. Like, I had ACA insurance the past 4 years. My premium was like $70 a month. Now it, like, if I had stuck with my insurance, it would have been $579 a month. Like, how can Democrats act like that's actually a good thing? Like, oh, we passed this thing that sort of works as long as we pass these subsidies that didn't get passed. Okay. Dems got to learn from Mamdani or they'll fester. I agree. Blue No Matter Who is so hilarious to us trans folk. We know they don't give a damn about us either. F them. We are about to debate. We get 3 seconds that will be read out of context 10 minutes later. Forgive my lack of rhetorical wit. Yeah, I apologize that I fall behind. It's just that I try to respond to things substantially, and that like makes me fall behind. What do you think they didn't want? Why do you think they didn't want Bernie? You mean that the establishment people, because Bernie actually cares about pointing out the issues with politics today? Republicans also crippled him, to be fair. Obama is literally a war criminal. Agreed. Voting independent Republican will never put leftist pressure on the Democratic Party. I did not advocate for voting for Republicans or independents or even third parties. I did not do that. Bernie was too far left to win. I don't know. Like, I don't think so. I think Bernie was just the right amount of left to win. The establishment was the only reason Bernie didn't win. Like, Bernie had so much support from the base of the Democratic Party, so much grassroots support. And like people that weren't like Bernie would have done what Trump did, but with the Democratic Party. Bernie would have activated hundreds of thousands of people who were not politically activated because they trusted him to actually be a messenger who like cares about the American people, to be like an authentic source of truth and like political, like the only reason Bernie didn't win was because Hillary shot him in the foot and the Republicans shot him in the foot. As an accredited historian, it is really rich that you're painting Trump as Obama's fault alone. Not at all, but the vast majority of Trump's rise was due to a decades-long project by the far right. No, I'm not saying it's entirely Obama's fault. Like, I'm sorry if that's how it came across, but it is like that is part of the reason why Trump got elected, was because of Obama. Like, but I agree that it's been a decades-long project. I agree that it's been in the works for an incredibly long time. Trump getting elected, that has been a part of the goal for the far right for a long time. But what have the Democrats actually done to stop that or prevent that, or to make things so that like what did Democrats do to safeguard us from the Trump administration before the Trump administration? Like, it was during Biden's administration extremely clear that Trump wanted to destroy the country. He tried to steal the election, and our own government refused to prosecute him. They kicked their feet. They freaking Merrick Garland sat on his ass and let Jack Smith waste his time with no intention of actually prosecuting this guy. If we had done something, like if the Democrats had just done something about Trump, or at least passed like oh my God, it's so clear to me that the Republicans are insanely evil, but that the Democrats are insanely evil too. Like, that is something that is crystal clear to me. And I don't understand how we don't, like, as leftists, I think we need to agree that we need to take over the Democratic Party. Like, Quinn should be in office. Like Oscar should be in office. You people would be so much better than the neoliberal Democrats in office right now. And that's what I'm trying to say, is that like we need to work together to take over the Democratic Party. Like, I don't want Oscar. I don't want you to be like a Schumer shill. You know, Quinn, I don't want you to be a Hakeem Jeffries shill. Like, I don't want you to like have to do that. Like, I don't want you to think that it's your job to stand up for these people when they don't give a fuck about us. They want us to die. They don't care. They're making their million. I'd say most people don't unsub on disagreement over strategy. If you were out here saying you love what's happening in the Caribbean or something insane. Okay, well, yeah, no, that's very true. And his, well, I don't know though, because like I said some pretty controversial, I guess, things last time, and I did get some unsubs. Let's see here. His team fixed the resection a lot faster than my calculations kind of for. That was also a ploy with capitalists. New parties. Obama's mistake was after the '08 crisis, he bailed out the banks instead of sending the money to workers. Banks took the money and ran. Yeah. No, I agree that Bush and Clinton and Reagan handed Obama the crash. Like the crash happened under Obama, but it really wasn't Obama's fault that the crash happened. But it is Obama's fault that he did not do we did not do anything after the crash to prevent that kind of thing happening again. And also, like, the crash was an excuse for a lot of really rich people to buy up a lot of property and to like do a lot of stuff to then ride the resurgence of the economy. But that's really bad for like the average American. For rich people, they don't care if the economy crashes because that's just an opportunity for them to use their extreme wealth to like buy up more stuff cheap and then profit off of the value of the resurgence. But like the typical American, that's like an incredibly like imagine you're about to retire and the economy crashes and you cannot wait 4 years for it to recover. Like you're just going to have to accept that your life is permanently ruined by the political games that are being played. We need more constitutional amendments. Meow and hello, everyone. Our nation has a deep and festering wounds that are far from closing, let alone healing. Infighting definitely helps none of this. I agree, Grace. I think that we need to have passionate debate, but I think we all need to agree that we need to stand together at the end of the day. Bull Moose, the Democratic Socialist. I agree. However, we got to accept that even within the pro-worker candidates, some people are never going to vote blue because they are racist and transphobic. This doesn't mean all of them will be. Wait. We gotta accept that even with pro-worker candidates, some people are never gonna vote blue because they are racist and transphobic. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree, but like if we had a really based candidate, okay, here's what I think about American. If we had a really based Democratic president who like fixed everything, like if we elected a Democrat who like actually gave us free healthcare, for instance, like free healthcare, boom, everyone gets free healthcare. Congratulations. I think that if that same person also championed like pro-trans stuff and like anti-racist stuff, I think a lot of people would suddenly become anti-racist. And I know that sounds really dumb, but like if someone gave someone free healthcare and they're like, by the way, like you shouldn't hate black people because that's really, really stupid, they'd probably be like, you know what? You're right. Thanks for the free healthcare. No, I mean like it's not going to be that simple, and it's not exactly like that. But I do think that we could make significant inroads with people if we had a Democratic president actually do something good for people and then also stand up for like social issues. The lead up to Trump is far more on the right than anyone left of center, like it's all ahistorical. I agree that the right wing has a big part in what's going on here, but also the Democrats are almost equally complicit. Like let's just look at the Gaza genocide. Who allowed that to start? The Democrats. Okay? If they wanted to stop Trump from getting elected, not allowing the genocide to happen would have been like that would have done it. You know what I mean? Oh, let me see here. Allowing PAC money handed the government to billionaires. If you hadn't advocated for Harris, what would you have advocated for last year, knowing the outcome? Like knowing the outcome, if I could go back in time and like redo my coverage. I mean, like, I'm not going to tell people not to vote, like you shouldn't vote or whatever. I would tell people I'm not going to vote and that like we need better leadership. Like, we need the leadership to actually, like, we need people to actually do something. We need to take over the Democratic Party. Honestly, like, I think electoralism isn't really useful with the candidates that we have right now. Like, yes, electoralism is useful if you have the right candidates, but without the right candidate, it's basically pointless. Saul Guerrera is about people like you who are willing to burn your more numerous allies and work with them to fight for a better future. I want you to have this conversation and self-reflect. Saul Guerrera is about people like you willing to burn. Oh, Saul Guerrera from Andor, right. No, I don't think that that's how I'm behaving at all, actually. Like, I'm totally trying to work with other leftists. Like, I would love to work with other leftists. I just have a certain standard that there are certain leftists that I do not, I can't see myself voting for them. Like, that's kind of just where I'm at with it. Like, I'm not saying that, like, I'm the only good leftist, or I'm not, how am I burning my numerous allies? Like, you're basically admitting that you don't want to be my ally unless I vote for the next Democratic president. Like, you're basically saying I'm not a part of your tent unless I vote the way you want me to vote. Why can't I be a part of your tent and vote the way that I want to vote? Like, can you explain that to me? Voting is something that we need to do. It is only a few different days. The rest of the year, we can organize and improve the conditions of our communities. We cannot cede legislative power for nothing. We are ceding legislative power for nothing by voting for neoliberal Democrats. That the thing that I keep coming to every time someone says something against what I'm saying, it kind of sounds like you're agreeing with me. Like, yeah, voting is something that only happens over a course of a couple days. The rest of the year, we can organize to improve the conditions of our communities. I think we need to organize to improve the conditions of our communities. Like, let's be real. Mamdani came from DSA. Like, he exists because of organizing. And, like, the direct result of organizing with the DSA is that he is in office right now, and we have an actual leftist in office who will do something good for New York. I'm sorry, but if Harris won over Trump, our country would be a much better place. I know she's awful, but I really don't think you can argue that our country would be as broken with her. No, okay, so what I'm saying is, like, right now, our country would be better off if we had voted for Harris. I agree with that. I'm not arguing against that. If we had voted for Harris, yeah, right now, things would basically be the same as the Biden presidency. Now, that being said, that includes the genocide. Like, we would still be having the genocide going on with Harris in office. She wouldn't have done anything substantially to deviate from that, as she made very clear on the campaign trail. But on top of that, I think that her being in office would have led to, like, a Stephen Miller, JD Vance presidency. Like, she wouldn't have done anything to change the country for the better. She's just trying to, like, sit at the top and, like, twiddle her thumbs. Like, she wasn't gonna do anything good for anyone. Would she have passed trans rights into law? Would she have passed abortion rights into law? Would she have given us free healthcare? Would she have done anything to better the country other than, if you're, like, her plan was, if you are a first-time home buyer, but also your parents never owned a home, then you qualify for, like, a $10,000 something on a down payment for a house. Like, how does that actually help anyone? It doesn't. That's basically the same as doing nothing. And honestly, she would have tried to get that done, and then it would have failed. And so she would have done nothing. Let's see here. They are right, Leah, and so are you. Dem leadership has failed, and some white working class will never be convinced. These aren't these aren't mutually exclusive. How can we get a Mamdani style candidate? Well, like I think that the way we need to get a Mamdani style president or candidate is by making it clear that we're not going to accept anything less for a candidate. Like, let me say it like this. I'm going to sit here and say I'm not going to vote for anyone in 28 unless they're revolutionary leader. When I get into that voting booth, I may very well, out of a disgruntled, like I may very well, like, vote for the Democrat, like, when I'm in the polling thing. But outside of the polling booth, I want Democrats to think that I'm like right on the edge of losing their vote. Like they're gonna lose my vote. Like, I don't want them to have this comfort that like Schumer has or Jeffries has, where they don't care. Like, nothing matters to them because they know people are gonna vote them in the office because of vote blue no matter who. They can do whatever they want. They can listen to their lobbyists. They don't have to listen to their constituents because their constituents are gonna vote for them even if they get nothing done, even if they do nothing good for the party, even if they do nothing good for the country, even if they don't stand up for against Trump, they're going to get reelected. And like, I know Schumer's is probably near the end of his run or whatever, but I'm sorry, you can't bully pulpit a party majority you don't actually have. Oscar, I was talking about Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema, and actually, if they had used the bully pulpit on those individuals, we would have had a transformative bill that would have done things to the country that would have been undeniably extremely good. And all of those things got squashed by neoliberal Democrats and their lobbyist backing. Like, I'm talking real shit. I'm talking real shit that could have really happened that didn't happen because we voted for Biden, who is a neoliberal Democrat who doesn't care. Putting pressure on the Democratic Party will never be done at the ballot box. It will only ever happen on the street with grassroots organizing. We can't do that if we let fascists take power. How? Okay. I'm not gonna keep arguing the point. I'm beating a dead horse. I've made my point. You have all made your point. This is an argument. I think we've been arguing about this for like an hour, and I think we just need to agree to disagree. Neoliberalism also just adapts to grab more votes, but they don't actually try to protect their new voters. Yeah. Centrist Democrats are basically doing nothing, and leftists are blamed for their failure. True. My answer is organize outside of the party, not just labor unions, but also tenant unions, mutual aid groups, urban gardening groups, and the DSA chapters. We got to take the party. Yeah. Citron, I agree with you entirely. Like, we need to be organizing outside of the DNC. We need to make the base so far left that the Democrats have no choice but to actually serve their base. If you're going to just join, your only purpose here is to control them. Be sure to hydrate. Yes, I've been sipping on some tea, but make sure you're all hydrating. I should probably drink some actual water. This is a really good point. Elections were never going to stop fascism any more than they were ever going to vote fascism out of office. Yeah. So like, here's a really interesting point. What's more powerful than vote blue no matter who? Voter disenfranchisement. Like, even if every Democrat ever votes for the Republicans still are going to do voter disenfranchisement and wipe away that. And the Democrats aren't going to do anything to stop voter disenfranchisement, as they've made very clear. Can a blue dog Democrat tell me why they can offer the left nothing and expect us to break our backs for them? Excuse me, but it's your channel. You say whatever the hell you want. That's a good point. Newsom is on the side of the billionaires. Why even bother with him? Isn't getting money out of politics the whole point? For a lot of these people, yes, money is like the whole point. Why don't you take a second to just pause and catch up so you can be at peace with comments? We're crossing wires because you haven't yet. Well, I'm trying, but you guys are really active. I've literally just been reading chat for like 20 minutes, okay? Do you guys want me to just skip everything everyone said? No. Why do you think Obama shut out Bernie? Because Obama picked Hillary, and Hillary basically blocked Bernie from becoming the primary candidate. So like that's what happened. They did and still do trust him as an outsider. I want Bernie to run in 28. Oh, he would not make it. He's still sharp as a wit. I know, but he's just not gonna. It's too late for Bernie. I hate that. Like I hate that too, but it's too late for him. Bill Clinton was bankrolled by the Koch brothers, take over the Democratic Party. In 2016, people in the South who never would have voted for a Dem were canvassing for Bernie. Even heard a redneck say, "I never thought I'd vote for a Jewish person, but he's the first politician I trust." Right fascists fill the vacuum of liberals' inability to actually solve the problems. Sanders was winning the general. Bernie is sharp as attack because fundamentally liberals are capitalists, surrealists, post-capitalism. Obama organized the remaining primary candidates to drop out, endorse Biden right before Super Tuesday. Oh yeah, that's true. The problem is that at that age, decline can happen at any point, any speed. There's not really any better option. Yeah, I agree with that. It's Bernie is great right now, but tomorrow he could start on a deep decline that would be very quick. Republicans just wanted to divide us. Not as evil as the Republicans. I'm not as a party of we surrounded a different kind of party in the residents. Less than Jewish. She saved the people want to move to the left. That is Trump's greatest thing he has ever done. I think the argument is that we just can't do this kind of organizing. If the fascist party gets elected, it's a choice between an arsonist and a loan shark. Better off taking. I do want to say in response to this one comment, Mamdani won under a Trump president, right? So like the organizing worked under a Trump presidency to get probably one of the most leftist candidates ever elected. So that does seem like a response to your argument. Like that seems like a counterpoint. For the record, I would give just about anything to the entire the entire Dem establishment out of the office forever, but think anything but handing over their seats to neo-Nazis. Well, I agree we shouldn't hand it over to neo-Nazis. I'm not trying to vote for neo-Nazis. Democrats and Republicans are not center-right. Democrats are so far to the right. The left end of the Overton window, the German AfD is outflanked by the USA Democrats. When you get to this comment, just say, everybody, you need to catch up. Just to say, everybody, you need to catch up, take a break, collect yourself, get some tea, then come back to us. I'm not saying vote for anyone. I'm saying to flee the country. And I'm not going to try to put words in your mouth, but you were saying you were an accelerationist last stream and it defended it via me cursing me out live. Well, you got really, really triggered when I mentioned that. And I wasn't saying that I was an accelerationist. Okay, let me be very, very clear about what I said about accelerationism. I said during my last stream that I have never been a fan of accelerationism, but that in this current climate, in the current situation that we are in, accelerationism surely feels like one of the primary things that will get us out of this situation. Like with insurance premium. Insurance premiums are skyrocketing right now. Absolutely skyrocketing for tens of millions of Americans. Do you think those people are going to blame Trump? I sure think they are, as they should. And do you think that's going to help him politically? No, it's going to hurt him politically. So like in that sense, like that's why Trump's approval rating is as low as it is. That's why people like in the latest special elections, that's why Democrats literally did like 20 or 30 points better than they were predicted to do in every single election. And that's why Democrats were winning red seats because of accelerationism. Because things are getting so bad so fast that Democrats, like, it's that thing that Democrats do where they don't even have to run on anything good because so many bad things are happening that they can just run on we're not the bad things, right? And in a way, I'm kind of against that because, like, we shouldn't just be running against the Republicans. We should be running on a platform, on something good. Like, yeah. But, woo. That is not dumb. People are transactional. Literally before 2024 election, had a conversation with someone, said we can't snap because money is going to gender confirmation surgery. It goes both ways. Worst thing Obama did was making the Patriot Act permanent. The kind of that kind of take comes off as vote red out of spite. I literally never said to vote red. I literally never said that. Please do not put words in my mouth. People associate things that are completely unrelated all the time. Harris wouldn't have done any of this BS. I agree Harris wouldn't have done any of this BS, but she also wouldn't have done anything good for the country, which would have pushed us further to the right in the future. When the AI bubble pops and we have another 2008, it's going to be ugly. You know they're going to bail out the tech companies too. Disgusting. I agree. The AI bubble popping is going to be really, really disgusting. I think boycotting corporate companies and social media sites is more powerful than voting. That's actually a really interesting point. I would be curious to see how that actually pans out in the reality of situations. But I do think that like social media is a really corrosive thing to our democracy. Unfortunately, change takes time, real change anyway. Not everyone has time. Some people are hanging on by a thread right now. All I can do is be kind to everyone and get ready for the next election. I can understand that. Not everyone has time for organization or for community organizing or anything. Everything you've said after that was absolutely not accelerationist, though, so I'm confused on what the practical argument is. We don't vote blue no matter who, so what do we actually do? I've spent a long time and a lot of time in my on my platform advocating for organizing, local community organizing, activism, all that kind of stuff is incredibly important. If anything, it might be more important than voting. I'm not exactly at that point yet where I think organizing is like, I don't think voting is useless, and I don't think that organizing is the solution, but I do think that like we are heading in that direction where like, yeah. What about Mamdani and Bernie Sanders? Well, he can't run for president. Mamdani can't. Bernie's too old. So what do we actually do? Right. So rather than just waiting for them to pick Hillary as the next candidate and then voting for her and losing, I think that we should organize to try to get a candidate in who would actually motivate people to vote and win and do something good. Do people think Joe Manchin is like an ally just because he has a D next to his name? Yes. People lead by example. When people say they won't vote and they have followers, their followers feel they should also not vote. I mean, if they put someone up for, if they put someone up who I don't think is worth voting for, like, I don't want to lie about it, guys. Like, I don't want to sit here and be like, eat your fucking bullshit. Like, eat the, you know, I don't know. I don't know how to say this. I would love to have you in my tent, but I want a tent numerous enough to actually change politics. And it seems like the tent you're proposing is too small to do that on the national level. What tent am I proposing? When have I ever excluded any of you? Oscar, when have I ever said you're not allowed to be here? You're not allowed to hang out with my chat. You're not allowed to be here. You're not allowed to argue with me. You're not allowed to disagree with me. I have said before that like leftist infighting is ridiculous because we need to agree to disagree. And actually earlier I said, hey, why don't we just agree to disagree here? Like I don't think that you're entirely invalid. Oscar, I don't think everything you say is wrong. I don't think that you're making entirely bad points. And same with you, Quinn. I don't think that you're also making entirely bad points. I think that we just have a different perspective on strategy in this situation. And if anything, if we work together and you make your points and I make my points, maybe we'll arrive at something better. Who would have thought? Leftists have an extreme worldview that is incompatible with life within capitalism by definition. However, I don't think y'all are going to win anything. I don't want to starve in the meantime. Okay, but like, what has voting for neoliberal Democrats done for you to stop you from starving in the meantime? Like, give me an example of how voting for Biden or voting for Obama or voting for Harris, like how did that stop you from, does that make sense? Like, can you explain to me how like voting for Clinton like made your life better? I heard Mamdani is fighting against evil landlords. That's what I heard. Why are we still doing Bernie bro criticism in 2026? It's the center Dems' fault for not courting leftist voters. I agree with that. It's the Democrats' fault for not courting me. Like, if the Democrats want my vote, earn that shit. do something, please. Like, please, I beg of you. I just want them to understand that, like, I have standards. Like, I'm not just gonna vote blue because it's not red. Like, those are colors. we need policy differences. How far away am I from? Oh my god, I'm not catching up. Oh, whew. Okay. Uh, what I don't understand is how someone with the mind of a 6-month-old baby could be elected president. The Christo-fascists are stepping up their campaign from starving us to more active methods of eradication. I have bought 3 houses, got government help each time, grateful. What did that have to do with Democrats? I'm curious to know. Hey Fiona. It's genuinely lovely to see you back in the saddle. Happy New Year's from Vancouver. From outside, one of the main challenges many of us notice is how limited the political choices in the US can feel. With essentially 2 dominant parties, it can be hard for a wide range of voices and concerns to find real representation. By several intentional or international measures of democratic health, that lack of breadth does have consequences in Canada, or have consequences in Canada. Having multiple parties at both the federal and provincial levels doesn't solve everything, but it does tend to diffuse extremes and give more communities a seat at the table. Without that kind of inclusivity, politics can become increasingly polarized, and as history shows, marginalized communities often bear the brunt of that tension. For what it's worth, you'd always find a warm welcome up here. Canada isn't perfect, but it does try, and that counts for something. Well, I appreciate you saying that. That's actually all a really good point, and thank you for being here. It is good to be back in the saddle. I'm happy to be making content again. I feel like, honestly, this might make a good video. Having this like argument, like I may cut this, and this may be like an hour-long video, but I might do it just because I think that this is an important conversation to have. I'm not bought in on being right, okay? Like, I'm not saying that like I'm right. I'm just saying that like I used to be vote blue no matter who, accelerationism is purely bad kind of person, and like I'm starting to feel a little bit differently about it. And like I hope that you all can understand that like I'm not trying to say that I'm definitively right, but I'm trying to make an argument for a point of view that I previously did not have, and I previously kind of brushed off, but now I'm thinking about it again. Like I'm thinking about it again. No, am I bought in entirely into accelerationism and whatever? No, I'm not saying that like I am now the most accelerationist person ever. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that like yeah, and so the lack of choice is definitely, like, the lack of choice is a choice by the people in power to limit our available representation in a way that makes it impossible for us to get representation that actually pushes for better things. And I agree with that entirely. I really hope I don't have to flee to Canada. It is an option. Republicans have to break their backs to court the evangelicals by promising unpopular abortion laws. I think the only way I'd actually be able to get into Canada, though, is like if they accepted asylum seekers, because like getting citizenship sounds like really, really hard. Like I would have to like drive myself to the border because I'm kind of broke. So I'd literally have to just like clothes on my back, drive across the border, hope for the best. Happy New Year, Leah. Hope for a better one than the last one. Thank you. I think, is your name also Leah? Like, do you pronounce it Leah, or is it Leah or Leah? I'm not actually sure. I'm curious. Dems can't even lift a finger to promise leftists anything of substance. When I made my bully pulpit argument, I was responding to your FDR comments, not Joe Manchin or Christian Cinema, but part of why I'd like you to just take a minute to catch up on the comments privately. I spent more of my life homeless and unemployed. I've been approaching politics. Make the base so far left and Dems have no choice but to capitulate, and in the meantime, keep trying to prevent fascists from taking power. I agree that we should try to prevent fascists from taking power. Part of that, a big part of that, I think actually the biggest part of that, is making sure that the Dems who get into office actually want to do something good for people, right? Like, I'm not saying we vote for fascists, and I'm not saying that like I want to not vote. I'm saying that like we need different leaders. We need different leaders. And if we end up with the same leaders as our choices next time, it kind of makes an argument for just like, what's the point? You know, like that's what I'm saying here. Canada, you need to let people come to your country as refugees. Elections rigged shams. Hey, Jackie. It's a great conversation. I love this conversation. Ireland is honoring blah, blah, blah. Time claims. Ireland is a cool dropkick Murphys. They don't hate Americans. Nice. Hey there, Rip Haven. True Chambers. It's weird how hate trans people for no reason. Blah, blah. Chat is accelerating Leah's blood pressure. Goddamn, people are poor listeners. I think you're clear as day about your stance, Leah. We're almost Handmaid's Tale now. Harris could have easily caved to TERFs and Christo fascists on trans issues. I agree. I did not trust her to actually handle those issues correctly. If you wait for it to happen, it'll be too late. Favorite meme? That's an interesting one. I actually don't know. For the people who keep accusing her of saying vote red, stop it. Not voting or voting third party is mathematically and morally close to voting red than voting blue is, but they are not the same thing. I'd have to think about whether it's closer to voting red than voting blue. I'd have to put some thought into that. I've been hanging on by the seams of my pants. My pants are made in America, Southern port quality. I didn't vote for the person I vote for, the policies. That's why I find it hard to vote for a Dem nowadays. I understand Rip Haven. That's kind of what we're talking about, actually. So there's poor quality. It's quite an image. Center Dems want a tent so big, we end up fitting Trump's fat ass inside of it. That's what it feels like. Like they want us to accept like Stephen Miller within the Democratic Party is kind of what they want. I don't have any time for organizing and far left agendas. I work full time in real LGBTQ care and advocacy and volunteer for orgs in the meantime. Well, see, like I feel like I don't have time for organizing and far left agendas. Quinn, I feel like you said you don't have time to do it, but you're doing it. You know what I mean? You work full time in LGBTQ care and advocacy and you volunteer for other orgs. How is that not having like you're literally doing the thing, right? So like you say you don't have time for the thing, but you're doing the thing, right? So I would say that you're doing great. Like you're doing more than most people are doing. For my tent comment, I'm not talking about leftists like me. I'm talking about Dems who kind of despise people like us, but will still vote for a larger project if it's blue coded like basic Dems. I have an issue with that. Specifically, if you look at like Mamdani and like how much resistance he met from establishment Democrats, I would like to say that there are actually a lot of Democrats who are neoliberals who like if a true progressive, like if AOC were to run for office in 28, I actually think a lot of establishment Democrats would turn up their nose and suddenly vote blue no matter who would cease to exist. That's actually what happened with Mamdani. There were a lot of people who like wanted Cuomo to win and suddenly vote blue no matter who ceased to matter for them. Like it's like a principle so long as it helps them with their candidate. If their candidate is the blue candidate, suddenly it's vote blue no matter who. But if it's not a neoliberal candidate, it's not vote blue no matter who anymore, which is part of what is like disillusioning me to that stance. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if the proposition wasn't vote blue no matter who, but was like don't vote for the fascists, like do you know what I mean? Like it's almost like vote blue no matter who has been co-opted by the neoliberal party as an excuse to get absolutely nothing done but still get votes. And then vote blue no matter who turns into the Hillary vote shaming thing where it's like, well, you should have voted for the blue person. Why didn't you vote for the blue person? When instead of spending that energy vote shaming, they should spend that energy actually being accountable for the fact that no one wanted to vote for them. When she says lefties, does she mean socialists or what? That's a really good point. Democrats are responsible for the only social safety nets that exist in America, but they're also responsible for letting the Republicans like destroy that shit, right? We'd have a lot of, if everyone voted Republican, we'd have a lot more Mississippis in America with third world level. I have never advocated for voting Republican, and I have never advocated for voting for a Republican, and I have never advocated for voting for a Republican, and I will say this one more time, never advocated for voting for a Republican. This is a lot of chat, but you are engaging. I sure feel like I'm engaging. Sounds like the guy who was made. Sounds like the guy was made. The government didn't give him more. I don't knows we are here. I know you're here. I'm sorry. I'm like really far behind on chat, Rip Haven. So like I'm trying. It's also easier to be it's also a lot easier for if you guys want me to catch up on chat, like stop chatting for a second. Just like give me a second. I pride myself on reading my chats. Like I'm not ignoring you guys. I hate skipping chats because you all spend the time and energy and effort to like say something to me, right? Like I feel like I owe you the courtesy of reading the freaking chats, okay? It's also a lot easier for deep state actors like CIA and MIB to control our influence a two-party system. That is very, very true. That is super very true. Leah Passanetti, I'm saying to flee the USA, not to change voting behavior. My sources in California GOP said that before 2025 to get out because they're going to throw me and all those like behind bars. I would say that fleeing the US is not an option for like 99% of people, including myself. And also that like fleeing does have negative political consequences that I think could be potentially disastrous in the future, but also like fleeing could be necessary, right? Like we could reach a point where fleeing is very necessary and that could honestly happen very quickly. I understand the frustration of being thrown under the bus time and time again, but I think we need to be pragmatic about what Democrats have actually done for us. They built the America we value, but they also let them destroy the America. Like FDR put it in place, but Democrats have done absolutely nothing to continue the legacy or safeguard it or future proof it or like social security spending is in a real pickle, right? And Republicans love to focus on this spending issue for social security, but that issue fundamentally boils down to the fact that that Democrats have done absolutely nothing to safeguard social security for the future. They just like have not updated the legislation or made even an attempt to do so. It's not even a part of their messaging. Like they don't even talk about it. My life is better because Biden affirmed my right to be myself in the oldest boys club on earth. I had a successful career, traveled the world, and forwarded the trans agenda on a global scale. I would agree that Biden, in the short term, did some decent stuff, but also like, okay, by signing an executive order to like do the Title IX stuff for like trans rights, did he actually protect our rights? Or do you think that he sort of like shot us in the foot? Because honestly, I sort of feel like he shot us in the foot. We should have not settled for anything less than our rights being enshrined in law. Like we need our rights enshrined into the law, right? If it's an executive order, then every Republican is gonna just repeal that shit. It's like giving you a right for 4 years and then letting them take it away. You know what I mean? Like, how much did that really do to like help us? Citizenship, I'll settle for staying out of prison. I even described transferring to Germany to my bosses. You should do call-ins. It's really hard to make a structured argument with these tiny chat boxes. I think it'd be pretty fun. I'll consider it, but I have seen people do call-ins before on other streams, and I have seen some pretty awful interactions happen in that. Like, there's a lot of people who are trolls, right? Who like have no desire to have constructive conversation. Yeah, sometimes it's just difficult sometimes. Also, like, you know, someone could come on here and say something really horrible, and even if I react really quickly, if it's already said, then like chat will probably hear it, and like I can't, like, there's no takesy backsies at that point. Canada does not does allow trans refugees. Check out Rainbow Refugees. I will check that out, but it's still not really an option for me. A bit of an odd comment, Quinn. Also, you're kind of right, but they often had to be dragged, kicking and screaming to do so. Dems are the better ally, not your friend. I would agree with that. They're a better ally, but not your friends. But I would agree that they're not a good enough ally. It's a real big tent. There's a better way to advocate for we need better leaders. There are ways in which you sound like you're bitter and willing to capitulate the other side yourself. In what way do I sound like I'm willing to capitulate to the other side? What have I said that capitulates to right-wing framing? If anything, neoliberal Democrats are the ones who capitulate to right-wing framing, and I'm the one arguing against that. I'm the one saying that Kamala Harris betrayed us. Is LGBT really far left? This world is so cooked. No, it's not. That's my point, Oscar. Dems are awful, but the pragmatic choice is always a lesser of two evils. Leftism happens on the street, not a ballot box. Neolibs are actually neocons in disguise. True. I agree with you that blue, no matter who, breaks down when you get progressive, but it's, to me, more of a survival strategy anyways. I think part of the solution is better political education. When a true progressive appears in the world, you shall know her by this sign, that a confederacy of neoconservatives will conspire to prevent her from being elected, especially in the primary. True. Don't vote for the fascist does nothing when I see an astonishing number of trans people who bump against it. What? I'm always impressed by your commitment to reading everything said in chat. It's okay, I realize you're on multiple platforms, blah, blah, blah. Everyone stop talking. I give you permission to skip mine. Been waiting for you for a while. I will stop yapping for a second. You say you'll stop yapping, but you're literally chatting about not chatting. Fleeing the USA won't work because everywhere else is worse. People know. Well, but things in the other parts of the world are like a lot less worse than the US right now. And I agree that a lot of places will probably follow the US, but like not all of them, and not to the point of the US. It's like resting on 50-year-old laurels, literally at this point. That's so true. I know people here who have basically left the US, come to visit for 3 or 4 years. It's not really fleeing, but taking a leave. That's an interesting idea. I don't know how you get like a visa for that, but it's crazy when you actually count the year and collect the fact where Vancouver. Live debates can spread your message. That's always been the problem with the Dems, performatively progressive, but are actually spineless corporate simps. Yeah, Collins can get really nasty really quick. Never feel bad about protecting yourself and your community. Collins are hugely cringe as well. Majority reports calls can be effing rough to get through. Yeah, like we would have to have like I would literally need someone to sit here for the entire stream and screen calls for me. And honestly, I just don't even think that's worth the effort. I would hate like if I had one of you sit here for 2, 3, 4 hours and like screen calls, even if it's just for an hour. I feel like that's just such a waste of time for someone. You're definitely going to need a call screener if you're going to allow call-ins. I know there's automatic ones that summarize what the person calling in said, but a human screener, yeah, because people can lie to a screener, right? That the reflexive, oh, you imagine demanding and actually making it possible if you wait until translate, you're not going to be able to get through the border checkpoint. I agree. If you wait too long, it's too late. But like, I don't think we're that close to the too late point yet. I'll be honest with you, Nadia. If I feel like we're at the point where you need to flee the country, yeah, I would definitely say like, hey, get the hell out of here, like right now. Whew. I had a real career that allowed me to help dozens of people. Somebody shouting from the restaurant kitchen that the very measures allowed me to be there. Bigger picture. I had to quit the day he got elected. Makes good TV. Okay, I caught up, guys. I caught up. I did it. Hey, Chunky Shrapnel. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. If you guys enjoy the stream, hit the like button, share all that stuff. I've got a link tree. I think it's pinned or something, but here's the link tree anyway. I'll just like paste it into chat. All of my socials are there except for Twitch. I am live on Twitch and YouTube right now. Feel free to watch on whatever platform you want to watch on. I am doing YouTube full time now, which is a part of my goal to be self-employed since I lost my job. And I really hope that everyone supports me in this venture because I feel like I could do a lot of good if I'm able to like, grow and encourage political debate. And yeah, like I really enjoyed the debate that we've had tonight. It's heated because we all care. Like I know that the reason why Quinn and the reason why Oscar have been so like passionate is not because they're mad at me, but because they're passionate about the conversation that we're having, which I think is good. It's good to have passionate people. Like, yeah. Whew. Okay, so are you sure, Quinn? What is that a reference to? Are you sure about not needing to flee? Is that what you're is Project Zomboid worth buying? Yes. I love Project Zomboid. It is a fantastic game. I think the devs are wonderful, even if they're a little bit slow. I think that like they make a lot of effort to make it a good game. The modding community is incredibly passionate. There are some really cool content creators for Project Zomboid, and I there are also some really terrible content creators for Project Zomboid, but yeah. States have been bouncing drag ban laws that make trans illegal and getting close to passing them at state levels. Come to Berlin or Barcelona or Bangkok or somewhere. I have seen those. Yes, I have seen those. And I would agree that we are closer than we ever have been to needing to flee the country. But I just feel like there's something about fleeing that is similar to capitulating, and that uh I just I would feel terrible if I fled to Canada and then turned around and made content for all of the minors who are still stuck in America, unable to receive gender affirming care. Does that make sense? Like, I would feel really terrible putting myself, like, removing myself from the danger and then sitting here talking about the danger to everyone that's stuck in it and unable to flee. Now, I'm not saying that I won't ever flee if I feel like I need to flee. I'm just saying that, like, I really don't want to flee until I feel like it's necessary, and until I would be willing to flee if I can have, like, if I'm at the point where I'm like, hey, tell me where you are and I'll come pick you up and we'll go to Canada together. Like, that's out. Do you have any interest in live debates? And if yes, do you know the network The Line? They're leftists and humanists, and one of their shows is hosted by trans people and focuses on trans topics. They may be interested in another host on their trans show. I think I've heard of The Line before, actually. I think someone has mentioned that in chat before. I would be interested in that. I do like debate. I think debate is important. And I would be interested in doing that. It depends on the context, it depends on the content creators, and it depends on, it depends on a lot of things, but that's definitely not something that, like, I'm adverse to. I did want to say I keep getting really nervous before streaming, and every time I stream, uh I'm really glad that I did. Like, I'm really glad we had that argument earlier. I'm really glad that you're all, like, so passionate and that we're able to have these conversations, and that I'm here, and that, we're here. So I did want to say that. Thank you all for being here. It really means a lot to me. I really appreciate the support that we've been getting and that I've been getting. And I'll see about turning that into a video, that big conversation we just had. But I don't know about that. We'll see how long it is. That was like an hour. Now obviously I may have to remove some of the chat part where I'm like, I was just reading chat for like 30 minutes, but I'll try to keep in as much of that as I can, as much of it that is relevant as possible. Because I would be curious to see what the comment section say. Like, I would be curious to see how many people, agree with Quinn and Oscar versus me or whatever in the debate of the thing or whatever. And again, I'm not like I need to be right. I just want to have these conversations. Do you have any interest in, like, oh wait, I already read that. Not mad at you. We could have sorted this out in 3 minutes. Were we IRL? Yeah, probably. It is hard to have these conversations over chat. I'm sorry that it's a bit frustrating, probably, for the chatters. I have been to 78 countries. None of them want us, I promise. I agree that Americans are not looked at well across the world. I have traveled internationally a little bit. I have not been to 78 countries, but I have been to a few. And Americans do have a very bad reputation. I will say that. Hi, got on here. Welcome to YouTube Rip Haven. Feel free to watch whatever streaming service you want to use, Twitch or YouTube. ICE will be doing whatever actually happens federally, because the real issue is pushing it onto blue states and cities. Canada sounds lovely. Canada does sound pretty good. They do have a lot of the same issues that America is having, like with the housing crisis and stuff. But it does sound like a pretty lovely country. I understand those that want to leave the country. I couldn't do it though. This is my home, and I will fight for it for all the people that aren't able to leave. Yeah, like okay, so there's this Rise Against song that's like, um, God, what song is that? I think it's like Re-Education or something. It's like an old Rise Against song where it's like it's someone saying like an older person being like it's better to live on your knees than to die on your feet. And then like it's a younger person being like, no, you don't understand. It's better to die on your feet than live on your knees. And you know, like there's something about that. Something about that. um to run or not to run, the answers are different for each of us. If one is under serious threat, then the hell you have to get out there. You have to choose to stand and fight. That can also be right. Yeah. Yeah. Like if you're in a situation, if you're in a red state and you're surrounded by bigotry and you're worried for your life and you have the opportunity, then like I'm not going to say don't go for it. Like everyone has to make that decision for themselves. And that's going to be a personal choice. Like that's not something that you can prescribe broadly across every trans person in the country. I will never flee despite having options abroad. I will make my stand at home with the people I care about. I respect that, Quinn. The Transatlantic Call-In Show is the Line's trans show. It's a good one. Oh, interesting. I love the Line. That's Matt Dillahunty's show. And no, they're not going to stay confined to immigration-related issues. Keeping all my amazing comments. No, he's one of their hosts. He does have his own show on the Line though on Wednesdays. Fleeing the country is only abandoning people weaker than you. We need to link arms and stand together. That's kind of how I feel. I will comment on it minute by minute. I think the language here is problematic. One doesn't have to flee. It could be you take a gap year or two or choose to travel for a couple years. That's not really fleeing. I see what you're saying, Fiona, and I respect that. I guess I just don't think it would be worth the cost of me leaving the country because like YouTube, I could make money anywhere from YouTube, right? But like, I want to become a part. I'm lining up like a performance gig. Like, I'm gonna be doing performances next year in America. Like, I'm gonna get my massage license back, and like, those are things that I have to do in America to make money. And if I don't do those things, I'm not gonna like YouTube is not gonna pay my bill. Like, as kind as everyone has been since I've come back, YouTube alone is probably not going to be able to pay my bills and sustain me and feed Freddie. So like I'm going to have to get multiple self-employment jobs, which is okay. I would rather do that than have one full-time corporate job. But a lot of that is dependent on me being in the area that I'm in. I'm glad I'm in Maine. We still have people's militia. They just not let the feds come after us. My boyfriend's testicles were bitten off by a camel recently. I'm sorry, I do not mean to laugh at that. I just did not expect to read that in chat. I don't think it's funny. Should I marry him when he wakes up from his coma or marry his identical twin brother whose testicles are in pretty good shape? Is that like a real question? Why would I ever go back now that I'm out? I'm not going to be repatriated alive. Oh, Nadia, it's totally up to you. Totally up to you. If you want to leave the country and never come back, I don't blame you. No one blames you. I think Fiona was just making the point that like it doesn't have to be forever. Like, you know, like some people might feel bad about leaving the country. It's like, well, just like get out while you have to and then come back later. But you don't have to. Like, it's it's your choice. 7 years ago, my parents were eaten by pygmy cannibals, and I have never forgotten it. The whole point is pushing it on blue states and cities. Being in one will protect no one. Have you survived Five Nights with Freddy? I've never played Five Nights at Freddy or with Freddy or whatever it's called. I honestly hate horror games. I am not interested in horror games at all. They do not make me happy. I find them quite stressful. The only horror games I can play are survival horror games, like Project Zomboid or like Sons of the Forest or oh, actually, I guess Resident Evil. I do like Resident Evil. I'm pretty picky. I don't really like a lot of horror games. It has to be a very specific kind of game that I can enjoy. Leah survives every night with Freddy. Yay, Freddy. Oh yeah, that's true. My cat. Yeah. Go. Like hiding somewhere, sleeping, napping somewhere. Have I got the corpo job for you? Wish you were in CLE or Colorado. Yeah, I can't do corporate jobs. I've come to a realization about myself that like I would rather be a starving artist than be a corporate slave. Like I can't do it. It makes my soul die on the inside. Working for a corporation. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. You can flee to my house. I'll put on a pot of sauce. Leah should sick the mods on that guy like a tyrant king whose jester failed him. On who? Who should I sick the mods on? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Woo! All right. So yeah, what a stream, guys. The conversations have been really really passionate, and I like that everyone cares so deeply, and yeah, it's all great. It's all wonderful. It's all great. Have I played Xenoblade Chronicles 3? I think you would totally love its politics, messaging, and writing. I have not played Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I should check that out. But I'm currently playing like 7 different games that I haven't finished. Like let me pull up my Steam library here. Yeah, Tales of Berseria I've been playing. Oh my god, I never finished Dragon's Dogma 2. I've been playing Borderlands 4. I never beat Baldur's Gate 3. I never beat Cyberpunk 2077. I never beat Hollow Knight. I never beat Horizon Forbidden West. I never beat Monster Hunter Wild. Well, I sort of beat Monster Hunter Wilds, but I never beat the post game, which to me is part of the game. I actually never beat Red Dead Redemption 2, even though I got pretty far into it. I think when I realized what was going to happen at the end, I kind of like didn't want to finish it because it made me too sad. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah. There's a lot of games that I never beat. I never played the DLC for Elden Ring. I never played that. That's also another one. I never beat Hollow Knight. I know. I'm sorry. I'm not you can revoke my gamer card for that one. You can hold on to my gamer card until I earn it back. I love Bug Game. Hollow Knight is incredible. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not for lack of love of the game. It's an incredible game. It's probably one of the best games I've ever played in my life. But I'm stuck in a white-collar job because of financial obligations and needing to take care of my family, just trying not to get crushed by this capitalistic hellscape. It's not going well. I'm sorry to hear that, Chunky. It is really frustrating. It's very stressful. And I'm incredibly lucky and grateful to have a community here and to have the option to try to do things self-employed. Even if I have to sacrifice a lot for it, I'm still really lucky just to have the option. So I want to make it clear, like, I am very grateful for everybody here. I'm grateful for the support, for the community, for everybody involved. The game XC3 is basically an updated for the 21st century version of the Communist Manifesto. Oh, well, that's really cool. It's okay. Silksong Steel Soul has been kicking my butt on and off for months. Yeah, I heard Silksong is really hard. Like, brutally hard. I started Sekiro, that game that makes me feel bad at playing video games. Switched over to Dark Souls 3 for something relaxing and laid back instead. Oh, that's chill. That's chill. I've actually, lately I was trying out, there's this new game that came out called Where Winds Meet. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start inserting ads into YouTube. So, like, Twitch will not have ads. Well, actually, I think Twitch has ads anyway. But, YouTube, you will start receiving some ads periodically. I'm just going to start putting those in every now and then. But let's talk about video games a little bit here. So, there's this game that came out called Where Winds Meet, and it's like it's kind of like if Genshin Impact and Elden Ring and a Tales of game had a baby, sort of. It's hard to describe. It's not a team-based game. So actually maybe it's not like Tales of. Maybe it's less like Tales of. Maybe it's more like it's kind of like Assassin's Creed, Elden Ring, and Genshin Impact had a baby. And it's really actually better than I thought it would be. It's like a free-to-play game, and it's like the boss fights are actually really well designed. The combat is pretty well designed. It's engaging, it's hard, like it's actually difficult. It's not pay to win. All of the money, like all the monetization stuff is like cosmetic based. So like when you do the gotcha or whatever in the game, it's not for weapons, it's not for power, it's all for cosmetics. Which, if there's gonna be a gotcha system, if there's gonna be like monetization or battle pass or whatever, it only being cosmetics, I think, is like the only way to go. Like that's the only way to actually do things, because um otherwise you're just like buying power. So yeah, everyone's like on a pretty even playing field. Like you can buy progression, which I would say is like the only part of it that really makes me sad. Is that you can buy like progression materials to make your character level up faster, but really like that does not matter at all. At all. Oh boy, chuds hate that game because it has a female main character. Main character. Oh my gosh, I got the hiccups again. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll mute if I had the hiccups before stream and they went away and now they're back. And Lexi, which game were you talking about? The one that has a female main character? Are you talking about Tales of Bestaria, or are you talking about Where Winds Meet? Because Where Winds Meet you can like pick or whatever. But it's like it's funny because all of the dialogue was written for like the male main character, and they forgot to change it for the female main character. And so if you play the female main character in Where Winds Meet, like 90% of the dialogue misgenders you. It like it actually feels like weirdly like the trans experience. Where it's like, hey, maybe I have a past, but can you respect who I am now, please? Like it's like everyone in the game is like incredibly transphobic. Uh yeah, funny. I'm actually seeing a news thing here on my Steam feed for Lost Ark, and I'm embarrassed to admit that like I haven't played it in like over a year, but I have 1,400 hours in Lost Ark. I know, and some of that is AFK, some of that is idling, but I have 1,400 hours in Lost Ark, and I'm pretty embarrassed to admit that actually. And actually, you know what's more embarrassing than that? The only thing that stopped me from playing more Lost Ark was the fact that I didn't have a raiding party. Like I didn't have a consistent group of people to like raid with. And that is like the entirety of the end game. It's like you need to do your weekly raids or you don't progress. And so that's really sad. My Steam review showed me I now mostly play these low-key auto arena battlers like Vampire Survivors. Low-key kicked off an incredible accessible genre, hands ain't what they used to be. Yeah, Vampire Survivors is really cool. I love a lot of these like arcade style games that are getting a resurgence. I think that that's really cool because I've always had a lot of appreciation for like simple platformer, or like, you know, like a simple roguelite game or whatever. You have an embarrassing amount of hours on Ark Survival Evolved. Oh, that's funny. My Steam account is 20 years old, and my most played game is only just over 1,000 hours. Ooh. See, like I have like a lot of hours in a lot of games actually. Like Project Zomboid, I have 1,007 hours in that. I have 1,400 hours in Lost Ark. I have 200 hours in Deep Rock Galactic, 152 hours in Cyberpunk, 63 hours in Borderlands 4. I played Black Desert Online for 300 hours. What else? What else? Monster Hunter Wild, 60 hours. Elden Ring, 525 hours. What else? There's actually quite a few games in here that I don't even have really like installed anymore. 126 hours in Stardew Valley. I bet if I went through and looked, there's probably some games that I have even more than that. Let me look through. Oh, I wonder if my Left 4 Dead hours are listed. No, I played so much of that on console, not listed. I have like thousands of hours in Left 4 Dead for sure. Yeah, I just didn't always play on PC, so like I don't have some of my. Ooh, there was a really good sale on Divinity Original Sin, like both the original and the second one, like the good versions of them, like the full fancy versions of them. And I bought that. I bought that shit. I bought that shit. I'm actually really excited to play it too. Playing Baldur's Gate 3 made me actually want to go back and replay. Ooh, I wonder how many hours I have in the Mass Effect trilogy. That would be interesting. I have like 300 hours in Monster Hunter World. No Man's Sky, about 300 hours in No Man's Sky. I'm just kind of looking through here. There's like a lot of games that I have like just like 40 hours in or whatever. I got 200 hours in Starbound. I forgot about that. I got really into Starbound for a while. Actually, I do really like Starbound. Terraria, I saw that mentioned. I have 3.5 hours in Terraria. So I don't understand the Terraria fever. I'm sorry, but I don't understand. I played it. Oh, Warframe. Oh my gosh. On PC, I have like 90 hours, but I actually played most of Warframe on Xbox. And I played Warframe for like easily thousands of hours. Easily. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Oh, Raft. I forgot I put a lot of hours. Yeah, I have like 105 hours into Raft. Yeah. Yeah. How many hours did I put into Assassin's Creed Origin? 130 hours in Assassin's Creed Origin. That's like the last Assassin's Creed game that I really tried to play. Astroneer, I have 100 hours in Astroneer. Cave Story. Oh, I forgot I don't have hours logged on it because I played that forever ago on a different. Yep. All right. Well, that's basically all I mean, I got more, but I don't want to keep going through stuff. If we could go back far enough, I'd probably have a couple thousand hours in BG2. Played that game so much when I was younger. Nice. Play Battlefield 6 and get accused of cheating by old ass dudes in their 30s. Yeah, didn't that happen to someone? Didn't that happen to a trans girl online? Like be really good at BF6 and then you get accused of cheating. I'm currently playing Valheim. It's a fantastic game. It's like Minecraft plus Skyrim. I have tried Valheim and it's just not my game. I appreciate it. I like what they do, but you and your GF play Starbound. Starbound is actually like low-key really good, and it makes me really sad. The modding scene for Starbound is like giga dead. And I honestly wish that it was better. I have a hilariously high number of hours in a hentai match 3 games. I just love match 3 puzzlers. Just so happens that more of them are porn nowadays. How do you have the exact same Steam library as me? I didn't even read a lot of them, honestly. I just read the ones that I have a lot of hours in, or that I have some hours in. I'm not much of a video gamer. Pong, Asteroid, Space Invaders were mostly ho-hum for me. The original Pac-Man was big out in the world, but it took a few years for me to get drawn in by Miss Pac-Man. You just named every game that I play. That's funny. Um, that's fine. There's an arcade near me that has a lot of like old, like it's like a bar. You buy a drink and then you can play games for free. Like every game is like basically free. And so you can just walk around and play like Space Invaders. They have like Mortal Kombat, they have Killer Instinct, they have so many really good old games. And it's a really cool place to go. Like I don't like bars, I don't like drinking. I will go to that bar to just play video games. I will do it. I will do it. Boy. Stretching, you know? Stretching. Gotta go. Happy New Year's, loves. See you later, Lord Nebo. Again, thank you for the $10 earlier. I really appreciate that. I hope you have a great one. Thanks for being here. I have 1,000,000 hours on Arkham City. I never really got I played Arkham Asylum, but I never really got into like the other Arkham games. Like I never played like Arkham City or whatever the other ones were. Arkham Knight or whatever. Like Arkham Asylum was pretty fun. I enjoyed that game quite thoroughly. I guess I just never really like kept going with it with the open world model or whatever they had. Like Arkham Asylum was like pretty linear. It was like Arkham Asylum was like a Metroidvania, and then like Arkham City and all that other stuff was like a Ubisoft game. And I think something about that made me not want to stick with it. Like I really liked how it was like a Metroidvania game. And then yeah. I love Metroidvania games, honestly. Like they're pretty satisfying. Like I think it's like a good compromise between a fully open world game and a linear game. Because it's basically a linear game in an open world that's restricted until you get like the powers you need to access those specific parts of the game. Something about that's like really efficient and good, and gives it like makes you feel like you're playing an open world game, but you're not. All right, anyway, I'm gonna hit the ad button again. I forgot about that. Boom. You get ads, you get an ad, and you get an ad, and you get an ad. Everybody gets an ad. I finished my tea. All right. So, I do have to say, I'm probably going to wrap up stream because it's been going for about 3 hours. I'm tired. I'm actually very, very hungry. I woke up super late today and I pretty much just like drank a protein shake and then got on here on stream. I just could not get out of bed. I just could not do it. It took me so long to get out of bed. So, I think I'm gonna probably go get some food and relax for the evening. My next stream will be on Monday. So like we have Monday, Wednesday, Friday streams. I'm gonna try to get some videos out this weekend. So like, okay, here's the goal, right? You have streams on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then videos should be coming out like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Now, the thing about that is that I don't think I'm not going to do a video every stream, or like the videos aren't guaranteed, right? Like the streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday are for sure. The videos will be like if they happen. Like if stream produces a video, then we'll do that. And I know earlier Quinn was talking about how like it like you think it's like a bad thing to cannibalize my stream content and use it as video content, I I feel like when I talk about things on stream, I talk about it in a way that's more conversational, more discussion oriented, and like oftentimes more passionate because I'm getting engagement from people in real time, and like it adds information, it adds like counterpoint, like all that stuff. Like rather than just me making a video about like accelerationism and the whole vote blue no matter who things, like rather than me just making a video talking about that, I like the fact that there's like people arguing against me in the video, right? Like if I make a video about that whole conversation that we had, I feel like it's really good that there's people in there being like, "Hey, this is how I feel about that, and this is a counter argument to what you're saying and stuff." Like I think that that's all really good. And like there are some people who are not going to watch my videos but will watch my streams, and there are some people who will watch my streams and not watch my videos. And I think that that's all good, well and good. Um and I'll be honest with you, I think it's worth it. Like if everyone who's here doesn't watch the video, I still think it'll probably be worth it. It'll probably be worth it. Also, if I'm streaming 3 times a week, I do not have time or energy to like also record 3 videos a week and edit them. Like me doing the recording on stream saves me a lot more time than it may seem like. Like you maybe you think it's just saving me like 30 minutes or whatever, but it's actually saving me a lot of time. That's all I will say about that. Do you get to pick? Oh, do you get to pick the type of ads, or is it random? I actually just before stream. It's funny that you mentioned that. I was just looking at my settings on YouTube. I was trying to find the monetization stuff to see if I could set up things so that restream. Well, actually, my interesting. Well, anyway, I was looking through settings, and there are ad settings. Like I can block certain kinds of ads. So like one of the ad categories was religion. I blocked those because like I don't know who believes what, right, in my chat, and I feel like allowing religious ads is kind of like a weird thing on my channel that I don't want. So like I can block certain ad types, but it's very broad categories. It's not very specific. Like I can't like I wish I could like block PragerU from, you know what I mean? But I can't do that. I would have to block all political ads, and that would also block any good ads. So a lot of people do on cars, and a lot of people do not want an ad. Wait, a lot of people do on cars. Vigorous Gypsy, I don't know if I'm reading that wrong. I think shorts are productive. Shorts pop up and they lead me to new channels. Yeah, I would like to do shorts as well. Uh, the thing for me that's hard about short is that like when I like okay, I know that there's 2 videos that I could make out of this stream. I marked the first one down. Like that was me talking about. Actually, I can't even remember what the first video was about. I'm not gonna lie to any of you. Oh, it was about the Health and Human Services Conference. Right. So there's that one, and then there's the Vote Blue No Matter Who stuff. That's 2 videos that I can make. I don't know, like where were the shorts in my stream, right? Like where can I pull some shorts from? I don't know. Like I don't have like the eye for it. Like when I'm talking, I can kind of like talk about something and be like, "Yep, this is a video," but I have a hard time being like, "Oh, I'm in the middle. I'm doing something right now that could be a good short." Like I don't like I'd have to rewatch my whole stream and try to find like little chunks out of it to like do as short. What I would say is that if you guys want to help me with finding short, when you notice something, like I have clipping enabled, So like if you notice something happening on my stream that's like would be a good short or like would make for a good short, clip it. Clip it and send it to me. And then that will like, like I can just go find that moment. I mean, if you include a timestamp even, like that would be really helpful. Um yeah, like you could just, just let me know like where the shorts are at and I will make them. But it's hard for me to find them when I'm in the middle of like talking and engaging with chat and stuff. How would we send it to you? Um you can either comment. I think you can comment and put, no, it'll probably block a link. I would just DM it to me on Discord or put it in Discord somewhere. Like go to my Discord community and put it like, maybe we can make a channel for it in the Discord. I don't know if any mods are watching right now, but maybe we can make like a channel in the Discord that's called like YouTube Shorts or like YouTube Short content or like potential YouTube Shorts or something. And maybe we can make it so that people can just share clips from my stream in there. And that would be good. Ma Cotton, peace out, y'all. Have a nice night. Yeah, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate everybody. I appreciate the support. I really appreciate the engagement. Great conversations, great time. Love all of you so very much. It's very, very wonderful to be here. Very thankful for the community. Really excited about the future of the channel. I feel like things are moving in a really positive direction here, and I'm excited to see the future of the channel, watch everything grow. And I appreciate all of you for the support. Um, and I hope to see you all next time. So that'll be Monday. I was gonna try to do a really consistent time for my stream. Like I was gonna try to do like 3 or 4 p.m. start time, but I'm not gonna lie to any of you. Like my sleep schedule's kind of all over the place, and like I have a really hard time with that. So like I can do Monday, Wednesday, Friday for sure, but like the start time might be kind of random. Like it'll be probably between 3 and 8 p.m. Like those are probably, I really don't see myself starting earlier than 3 p.m. and I don't see myself starting later than 8 p.m. So like tentative window there, but yeah, yeah, yeah. So anyway, thank you all so very much. I'm gonna push the add button one more time, and I'm going. Eastern EST. I'm in Eastern time zone, so EST. I will make a community post about streaming. By the way, I have not done it since I started streaming again, but after this stream I will make a post saying, hey, here's my stream schedule, here's what you can expect from me, and here's what's going on. And yeah, so glad I caught the last bit of it. Take care of yourselves out there and watch out for each other. Thank you so much, Chunky. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate all of you so much. Grace, Nadia, One Love, Quinn, Oscar, uh everybody, Laser, Lord Nebo, I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry, Zoltal. I wish I'd Lexi. Let's see. Ashlyn was here. Everybody was here. There were a lot of people here. Thank you all so very much. So very much. So very much. So, yeah, I'll catch you all next time. I'm gonna hit that add button one more time. I'll shut off my camera. I'll end stream here in a few seconds. Have a great rest of your evening, day, whatever it is for you. Much love, and please remember, drink some water. Stay hydrated out there. Peace out, everybody.